The 6th European Tour event on the PDC's calendar for 2015. And launching into this one, well, stars in their eyes. Darryl Gurney and Kevin McDine coming down the steps through the smoke for the opening match of the first round. We've got 48 players here this weekend. One of them will be on stage on Sunday night collecting £25,000 winner's cheque and the title of the European Darts Open champion. Michael van Gerwen's won 4 this year. His reign of terror was ended just a couple of weeks ago in reset. Can he reclaim the title? He has won already, although Peter Wright is the defending champion. We do have some big names here this weekend. I'm Dan Dawson, I'm not one of them. Rob Malarkey is alongside me, he certainly is.
Well, nobody's taking anything for granted here this weekend. As you say, 3 weeks ago, the world #1 Michael van Gerwen saw his unbeaten start to the European Tour come to an end in Riesa, but make no mistake, he is still very much the man to beat in the 6th tournament of the campaign, the European Darts Open here in Dusseldorf. A slight delay in proceedings here because we have an issue with the placement of the board. Darryl Gurney spotted it straight away. But I think Michael Smith's success in Riesa, Dan, will give plenty of encouragement to the rest of the field. And, you know, the bully boy is back once again. And, you know, who knows, he could make it back-to-back wins here in Dusseldorf. He's seeded 4th for this one, by the way, after the withdrawal of Gary Anderson. But the likes of James Wade, Peter Wright, the defending champion, Chizzy, and also Riesa runner-up Benito van der Pas might well be thinking it could be their time as well. Van der Pas now seeded as a result of Anderson's withdrawal, but the problem for him is that if he does get through, he could well face van Gerwen in the next round anyway. So that all remains to be seen. But here we are. First things first, Kevin McDine against Darryl Gurney. Gurney, a player on an upward curve, you could say, in the European Tour at the moment. Unfortunate to lose to Kurt Parry in the first round in Munich. He had a first round defeat in Gibraltar as well.
First leg is Kevin to throw first. Game on!
But he fared much better in Riesa, reaching the last 16. McDine to throw first. And we are underway in the European Darts Open.
Yeah, 8 games this afternoon, 8 games this evening.
44.
That'll set up the second round, which is when the seeded players come in. As always on the European Tour, it's a race to 6 legs.
82.
In the ballroom at the
68.
Maritime Hotel here in Dusseldorf. It's one of the venues that has remained the same all the way through the European Tour in its current incarnation.
Yeah, easy to see why as well. My first time here, and all seems to be very well laid out and kitted out ideally for a terrific weekend, whether you're a spectator, a player.
92.
It's all geared towards 3 days of top quality action. It's all set up very nicely. Not really set up nicely for either player in this first leg though. That's more like it though from Gurney, the dude from County Derry.
Now then.
140. Darryl 139.
And stole of the darts effectively here. Darryl Gurney, well, 139. What a way to finish that would be. He's not going to take out the big
80.
finish.
Kevin Uruguay 157.
Well, that's a lovely first start. He almost backed it up with a treble 20.
93.
So
Darryl
Gurney
59.
with a chance here for a break. Tops it is for a 1-0 lead.
49.
And Kevin McDine has been
Kevin Uruguay 64.
gifted a return to the hockey here to hold his throw. Another one of those will leave a double 16 for a 1-0 lead.
Game shot in the first leg.
And this
Kevin
time it's McDine who does take
Second
out
leg
the
is Darryl to throw first. Game on.
Well, had a couple of darts to break there, did Darryl Gurney.
100.
Doesn't want to be passing up too many opportunities like that. Justin Pipe, the number 10 seed.
41.
Finalist in Venray, of course. He awaits the winner of this one. Lovely looking first dart.
140.
Just signed with Red Dragon as Darryl Gurney, so I think they're new darts he's throwing, those fancy gold javelins he's got.
140. 41.
I mentioned that Gurney's a player on an upward curve at the moment after that run to the last 16 in Riesa. McDine himself could do with a decent showing in Dusseldorf this weekend. He had a first round defeat in Riesa at the hands of Max Hopp. Lost to James Wilson as well at the first stage of the German Darts Championship in Hildesheim as well. Did fare slightly better in Gibraltar, reaching round 2. But there are those who say he is capable of more than that.
I mean, he certainly looked like
59.
he was going to be a few years ago when he was
120.
on his runs to the quarterfinal of the match play and all sorts. He looked a man with the world at his feet, as Darrell Gurney now looks at tops and gets it. 120 Shanghai finish for Darrell Gurney. It's one apiece here.
Game on. $177.
That will do nicely from Kevin McDine, as good as a maximum. Kicking off this third leg.
140.
He's finding the treble 19s very nicely here, McDine.
$85.
Both of these guys having to come through the UK qualifiers for this tournament, as everybody you'll see today has done. They were held a few weeks back, did the qualifiers for this and the previous tournament in Riesa. Both of these guys qualifying for both of them. No mean feat. And you see the quality they have in some of the fields.
140.
Well, I've just made Kevin McDine think there's not as much pressure as there could have been on this. Tops he wants.
Game shot on the
12 dart leg, 2-1
McDine.
McDine.
Fourth leg is Darrell to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, the European qualifiers and the host nation qualifiers took place last night. 8 European qualifiers making their way through as Gurney lands a much needed maximum there to start things off in leg 4. McDine effectively did the same in leg 3.
84.
5 host nation qualifiers coming through. An extra place up for grabs last night after the withdrawal of Keegan Brown through illness. One of the original 20 to qualify from the UK qualifiers in Crawley. So Brown isn't here, but we do have an extra host nation qualifier. We'll run through those a little bit later for you. They'll have plenty of backing though from the crowd inside the Maritime.
Darrell Gurney doing in this leg
60.
what McDine did in the previous one. 5 trebles in his first 6 darts.
55. Darrell Uruguay 121. $89.
And hits the big number there to leave himself double 16. McDine's got it all on just to get to a finish.
65.
And he won't go.
Still not there either. So Gurney to level things up to keep the score going with the throw at 2 legs apiece. Just steps to the right there, but he's gone further away this time.
Game shot on the
No
fourth
problems
leg.
with the third.
Fifth leg is Kevin to throw first. Game on. $60.
Kurt Bevins here, match referee for this one. He's been on duty in Japan in the World Series recently, so he's a much-travelled match referee at the moment.
100.
Absolutely loved it out there. Big
Bevins.
train spotter is Bevins. He was very excited about seeing the bullet train.
There's a joke here involving Stephen Bunting, I'm sure.
I wish I'd thought of one. Wish I'd thought of one. Bunting is one of the big names we get to see in action.
Insert your own joke here.
One of the
96.
big names we get to see in action. He's playing tonight against Jihan Artuk, one of the host nation qualifiers. But I tell you what, the likes of Jelle Klaassen
44.
we're going to see today. Now, Jelle won the most recent Pro Tour event, only his 2nd PDC title, won it on Sunday in Wigan. Beat some big names along the way. Ian White in the final, Adrian Lewis along the way as well.
59.
The man is in a bit of form.
And kicking things off tonight, by the way, the Pie Man is back with us once again. Andy Smith up against Alan Norris.
177.
It's another 177 for McDine. Needed it as well in this leg, as he looks to hold throw. Well, now another one of those.
100.
Gurney is down to a finish first.
43. Uruguay 146.
This would be huge. Not going to happen, but if you can put a dent in it, McDine's back on 138. No, this isn't helping at all.
41.
Not really enough.
Not a dent, more of a minor scratch. McDine. Still with work to do. Even more work to do now as well, but that's a good recovery. He's just reassessing his options here.
106.
Yeah, and that's nicely done. Sets up the double 16 finish. Gurney not out of the equation yet. Needed that treble.
57. Uruguay 32. Game shot on the fifth leg, Kevin McDine.
Well, a 20-dart leg to hold throw from McDine, and Gurney never gave himself a shot at a double. It's a missed opportunity for the Northern Irishman. The upshot is, it's 3-2 McDine. But here comes Gurney. Gets it!
Third maximum of the match for Darryl Gurney.
92.
Puff of the cheeks as the first dart just landed north of the bed. 180 followed by a 45 from Gurney.
'83. '60.
As you can hear, the crowd in good voice already. 1 local time. McDine playing with a smile on his face, but it's a wry smile as he hits the treble 5, but recovers well again. Maybe a glimmer of a chance for a break here for McDine.
Certainly is now. Certainly is now.
181 required from Gurney here. He's just trying to salvage something, and he hasn't really done it.
'99.
Well, that one treble was vital for Kevin McDine there. Darryl Gurney's going to be applying some pressure, but he's going to get a dart, and it could be for the first break of the match. Well, he should get a dart. If he goes the bullseye route, he should guarantee himself a dart, but he may go the aggressive route of treble 20. Well, leaves him 81, but he's hit the treble 19, double 12.
80. Uruguay 40.
No margin for error here for Gurney.
Game shot on the sixth leg.
None needed. 3-3.
7 leg is Kevin to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, and the way he snatched his darts from the board there tells you that Gurney is in the mood, and he's relieved to have salvaged that
85.
leg. Could easily have got away from him. McDine missing a double 12 for a 4-2 lead. As it is, we are now level at 3 apiece here. Gurney looking to turn the screw once again.
140.
Would have been his third 180, that, Gurney. And crucially, it would have been his first against the throw. He did have a couple of darts in that opening leg to break McDine.
99.
He's not found himself in a position to break him since then. Is this the leg?
$100.
Giving himself a chance.
$49.
Stuart Kellett and Mark Webster on the way after this one. Webster fresh from the disappointment of just missing out on the match play next week in Blackpool. Darryl Gurney was in contention going into the final couple of Pro Tour events in Wigan. He was about £4 shy before the weekend. He made a quarter-final, but wasn't enough to
122.
wrestle himself into those qualifying places.
McDine again proving consistent with the treble 19 there. He strayed into the fives, but it was a good recovery
85.
from the...
Kevin, you require 146.
And from Waltham. It's a lovely first dart from McDine.
86.
Not so
Now
the
we
second,
require
but
121. $57. Kevin, you require 60.
well, McDine the favourite here. Tops for a 4-3.
Game on the 7th leg, Kevin McDine.
And on it goes.
8th leg is Darryl to throw first. Game on.
Could well be McDine winning the ball off upstairs. Could prove decisive in this one.
Yeah, 7 consecutive holds of throw in this one.
100.
Darryl Gurney needs to find a break somewhere if he's going to book his place in the next round to face Justin Pipe. They did meet at the UK Open earlier this year.
137.
And Gurney gave McDine an absolute walloping. 9-1 that finished.
100.
Yeah, Gurney's had 3 first-round exits in Europe this year already.
134.
Kurt Parry in Munich. Yellow class in Gibraltar, that was 6-0, and 6-5 to John Michael of Greece in Venray as well.
100.
Reached the 3rd round in Riesa, lost to Kim Huybrechts in the last 16. Beat Simon Whitlock on the way.
$140.
In general, he is on an upward curve, though, Darryl Gurney. He's made a couple of semi-finals on the Pro Tour, his first ones in the PDC this year. Had a quarter-final, as I say, in Wigan the other weekend. Feels like he's making progress. He certainly needed that progress there. The 140 sets up 61, but Kevin McDine should get at least a dart at the bullseye for the first breaker throw in the match. Ball he wants.
59.
And again, he's way off beam as he was a couple of legs ago. And again, Darryl Gurney might be breathing a sigh of relief. He's found the 15 there, so that leaves 46. Double 16 then for a 4-all scoreline.
45. Kevin, you require 31.
He knows it's a chance gone begging here, and McDine could finish him off. Double 8s.
15.
Gurney couldn't look.
It's
Darryl
that sort of
requires
match.
16.
It's that sort of match.
Well, 3 clear darts at double 8 for 4 apiece. And we're effectively into a best-of-3 match. Double 4. Pressure on this.
Game on.
What pressure! What pressure!
9th leg is Kevin to throw first. Game on.
Well, little wonder he's clenching his fist there. Needed that. Look at this, though, from McDine.
140.
Threatening a maximum. Just the 177, the only maximum of sorts for McDine so far.
140.
Gurney matches the 140. And there is literally nothing separating these two at the moment. Might be something separating them here, though.
81. $95. $45.
Now, real opportunity for Darryl Gurney here to get the break that he needs. He would be throwing for the match in the next leg if he can close this out. But he's, well,
96.
Vital last dart. That gets him down to a finish.
If McDine fails to find a treble here, it could be interesting, but he's got one there.
105. That will require 170.
Well, this would be something special. Won't be.
$97. Kevin, you require 130.
Yeah, went for the bull to try and leave the tops finish there, but McDine on 130 with work to do here to hold his throw, but he's in a good position now. Oh my word, that was not too far. He's getting closer with the bull.
Pretty much moved the wire there, Kevin McDine. Darryl Gurney's going to give himself a chance, though. Look at this. He gets the treble. 2 clear darts for the break and 5-4. Gets it! Gets it! First breaker throw in the match, and Darryl Gurney punishes Kevin McDine for missing the bullseye. Not by very much, but it was enough. And now he's thrown for the match. He's had to survive a number of darts from McDine to break his throw. He's managed to hold so far. Do it once more, and he'll be playing Justin Pipeman. What a way to start.
125.
Well, he can see the finish line, Darryl Gurney, but he's not there yet. McDine might give him a helping hand
82.
Here. Again, the treble 19 sorts McDine out.
$140.
125, 140 for Gurney so far. Steps in the right direction, but McDine turning the screw here with a maximum. His first of the match, and what a time to produce it.
Well, he needed it. He really needed it. Darryl Gurney still in the driving seat, but no treble here.
55.
Certainly not that treble. Hands the opportunity to McDine.
$59.
Well, it's been like that all game, really. It looks like somebody's getting the upper hand, and then they just surrender it either with a poor visit or a few missed doubles, and here comes Darryl Gurney.
Ooh.
80.
I'm not sure where that dart bounced out of, to be honest. It didn't look like it was anywhere.
Yeah. Maybe a treble 1, yeah. So it's not really...
Even a 1 would have helped him, to be fair.
To be fair, yeah.
Oh, now then. Well, he's not stayed straight. He's not stayed straight.
101.
And that's going to cost him a double if he returns. Darryl Gurney won't want to let him. Needed the treble.
53.
Now,
Kevin,
he should have had 3 clear
55.
darts at tops. As it is, he's only going to get 2. Two's all he needs, though. After 8 consecutive holds of throw, we have 2 consecutive breaks.
Game on.
And now, McDine has the advantage.
Yeah, it's ebbed and flowed in the last couple of legs after 8 successive holes of throw. Almost ironic that McDine should break back there. Gurney failing to take advantage. McDine out of the blocks with 140. Gurney needs to stay toe-to-toe here at least. That's a good first dart. He's got plenty of room here for filling that bed up. Looks like he's heading down to the 19s.
99. $60.
And now the treble 19s are eluding McDine when he needed them most. Still in the balance after 10 legs of play. Gurney just looking to wrestle the initiative here. Flip of a coin job here for me.
75.
60 points on the floor, you could argue there as well.
Well, nothing between them in the checkout statistics. They have both had chances. Some have been spurned. Whoever loses this will feel that they could easily have won it had things gone slightly differently. Just the 60 from Darryl Gurney there. So not a great deal in the averages. Gurney just about outscoring McDine at the start of legs.
49.
Well, he's laughing about it, but I think if he goes on to lose this leg and lose this match, he won't be laughing too much. Gurney has to punish him here.
100.
And does so to some extent. He's on a finish. McDine isn't.
Well, he's going to set this up, though. He's going to set this up very, very well.
137.
And no missing the big number there from Kevin McDine, but 102 from Daryl Gurney. Had 101 and he wasn't able to take it out. He didn't get the treble 14 that he needed last time. He doesn't get it this time. So Kevin McDine's coming back with 3 clear darts for the match. A double top for 6-5.
Here we go. Kevin McDine. This is your opportunity to make it into round 2. And Daryl Gurney once again suffers a first-round exit on the European Tour for the 4th time this year. The dude from Derry, it's another 6-5 defeat for him as well. It's an astonishing sequence of first-round results for Daryl Gurney. But he exits stage right with a grim miss on his face. He knows it was there for the taking. He had a 5-4 lead after that first break. But it's McDine who raises the glass. And it's McDine who makes his way through to a meeting in round 2 tomorrow with the number 10 seed Justin Pipe. We'll hear from the winner now.
I spoke to Daryl first thing this morning and I went, wow, how did we draw each other? First game on, 2 good players. I wanted to enjoy it, I did. Plus.
You are ranked number 52 right now in the world. What kind of expectations do you have when you enter such a tournament on the European Tour? Is it reaching the Sunday? Is it winning the whole thing?
I just turn up and play every game as it comes. If I win, I win. If I lose. I've always got a smile on my face at the end of the day. Happy days.
Justin Pipe is waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it difficult for you to play somebody who has the slow rhythm?
No, not really. I've good friends with Justin as well. So, I mean, we'll just have a laugh up here as well and hopefully I can win. Never know.
See you tomorrow again. Thank you very much. Kevin McDine, Super Mac.
Match against Stuart Kelly. Match 2 of day 1 of the European Darts Open, already through to the next round. Kevin McDine, a 6-5 winner over Daryl Gurney. He will face Justin Pipe, the number 10 seed, I should say, tomorrow in round 2. So, Mark Webster, a man who suffered, I should say, slight embarrassment recently in the World Cup. That shock defeat by Hong Kong. He was part of the team for that one in Frankfurt up against Stuart Kelly. Rod Harrington was at the World Cup and he too is alongside me for this one. Good afternoon, Rod.
Good afternoon, Rob. Welcome, everyone. Yeah, Mark Webster, he's been going for a little bit of a bad spell, but I think he's on the way out of it. He kind of lost his throw. It was verging on dartitis at one time, but he's put a lot of hard work in, and the rhythm is a lot better. And he's been playing a lot better, and it's good to see him back. It's a nice guy, Mark. Former world champion, Lakeside world champion. So, you know, quality and class is there. He just needs to find it. But Stuart Kelly, he's a dangerous player, is Stuart. Made the final.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Made the
first
final
leg
of
is
the
Mark to throw first. Game on.
Tour Players Championships a couple of years ago. I think he lost to John Park then. But he can be very dangerous, so a tough competitor for Mark. I think Mark would be edging the favourite here. But there could be a good few legs in this match.
Yeah, there certainly was in the opening match. It went the distance. And it was McDine who won 6-5. Justin Pipe up next for him. Mark Webster's World Cup teammate, by the way, Jamie Lewis, is also here this weekend.
58.
They met in Riesa, by the way, last time out on the European Tour. Lewis winning that one 6-3. Webster with the advantage of throwing first. It could well come into play if we do go the distance here. Webster, though, off to a solid start in the first leg.
49.
Just to remind you, both these players coming through qualifying for this event, the double header at Crawley in May, qualifying for Riesa and for this event, the European Darts Open in Dusseldorf. Kelly qualified
100.
for this one at the expense of Paul Nicholson, who also missed out on Riesa as well.
Also misses out on the World Match Play as well.
And he misses out on the World Match Play.
99. Mark, you require 121.
And that has a domino effect. But I miss a few more. But Mark Webster out. 1-2-1. He went for the treble 7 to leave the tops.
81.
He had a quick look to see what Stuart Kellett was on. See, he was on at least 9 darts away. So he just leaves double top. And this will be a tidy first leg for Webby. This is just what you want.
100.
Just a nice clean
Mark,
double
you require
top. Walk off
40.
with a 13 dart leg.
Game shot on the first
Right
leg.
in the middle.
Mark Webster.
Nicely done.
Second leg, it's Stewart to throw first. Game on.
I mentioned that defeat for Wales, by the way, against Hong Kong in the World Cup. Webster was a part of the team. Do you think that will have any bearing on how he recovers?
140.
Will it still be on his mind? I mean, it was not a shock, but it was an upset, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it will affect Webster, but like you say, Jamie Lewis, I think he played nowhere
60.
near the standard that we know he can, and I think it was that he put himself under too much pressure, which sometimes you do, especially when you're representing your country. But
96.
you know, the players are very resilient, especially the youngsters. They don't seem to dwell on things too much. I think it's because you're playing week in, week out that you haven't got time to worry about a loss because you're straight into the next
93.
tournament. So time will see, or time will tell, I should have said.
Yeah, the tournaments come thick and fast, and well, you can vouch for that, given your globe-trotting of late. You went
98.
Frankfurt for the World Cup, and then you went to Japan for the World Series as well. What was that like?
It was absolutely unbelievable. I've never met such a polite race of people in all my life. I mean, so polite and
140.
honourable. It was just
Stewart, you
unbelievable.
require 167.
The crowd, we could not believe. It was so pleasing because we didn't know what we was going to expect. We thought we were just going to have 1,000 people sitting there clapping. But
92.
they really got up. I mean, they loved Peter Wright out.
They dressed up, didn't they, as well?
That just
I
shows
saw
you,
some of
make
it,
yourself into a character and you'll get a fan base. And that's exactly what Peter Wright, and he played exceptional as well.
Yeah.
96. Stewart, you
Yeah,
require
it's fair to say the
75.
Japanese public really embraced the World Series events in Yokohama recently. So from Yokohama back to Dusseldorf for the
55.
European Tour.
Mark, you require 112.
Well, this is not a bad check out because you've got 2 darts at treble 20. Well, now it could be 12 tops. He hit tops in the first leg. Can he hit it in the second?
Game
Oh,
shot the
dead
second
centre
leg.
again.
Mark Webster.
I mean, that's very tidy.
Third leg is
Throwing
Mark to
from
throw
Mark
first.
Webster takes a 2-0
Game
lead.
on.
13 and 15. A nice little average for Webby at the moment.
Yeah, there's no hangover here from the World Cup for Webster. Make no mistake, he's raced into a 2-0 lead here. And a 1-1-2 check out, and that's very nicely done as well. 2 treble 19s.
Well, I said there might be a good few legs in this game, but certainly Stuart Kellett has got
99.
to start waking up. 1 treble a visit's not going to be enough, especially against the throat. Not the way Webby's playing.
Yeah, 109.9 the average at the moment for Webster. 100% on the
44.
checkouts as well. And a checkout of 1-1-2. So all in all, he's in good shape. First 9 average there you can see as well. Very healthy indeed. Kellett certainly has plenty of room for improvement here.
100.
Yeah, so you're getting another plum treble 20 and not following that up. It's not going to help Stuart Kellett against Mark Webster. But Webby's got to keep it going. You know, normally what
57.
you see is when a player is coming back from a bit of a rough spell, he can put 2 or 3 legs together, but putting 4, 5 or 6 is very hard, and that's where they let their opponents back
134.
in. Webby's got to keep it going, keep the pressure up.
Absolutely. And bang on cue, he lands the treble 1 there.
42.
Well, Kellett will be thinking in the back of his mind that there is a chance here to break back with Webster on 2-2-4. And he's looking to make a good impression here
96.
as well. That's nicely done.
Yes, he found the all-important 1 treble that he needed. Gives him at least 1 dart and a double when he returns. Webby, another one of those will put the pressure on, though.
100. Stewart, you require
Several
72.
ways to go with this. Treble 20, treble 12, treble 16 even, so another 20. He flirted with a treble there.
He did.
56.
And he flirted with a double
Mark, you
16
require
as well.
124.
Webster could steal this. The mood is in. He's had a 1-1-2 checkout already. Could he land the 1-2-4? Well, he's made a very good start indeed. Bullseye it is for a 3-0 lead. Oh, he's some way off there.
86. Stewart, you require
I think the
16.
smile from Webster give it all away there. So Stuart Kellett, double 8, and he needs to clean this leg up. This will break back. Now double 4.
Game shot on the third leg. Stewart Kelly.
Well, Kellett needed that
Fourth
certainly.
leg is Stewart to throw first. Game on.
Both these players have played on the European circuit already this season. Kellett, by the way, his only appearance prior to this year was in Hildesheim in the German Darts Championship.
81.
He lost 6-0 to Stephen Bunting that day. And another whitewash may well have been on his minds there when Webster established that 2-0 lead, but he's on the scoreboard.
57.
Webster's only other appearance in Europe, by the way, was in Gibraltar, where he lost 6-2 to Christo Reyes in the first round as well.
I've got to laugh, you were saying earlier about all the travelling. I flew in from Wales this morning, so I've been out there with the family on holiday. And it weren't until I walked out of Dusseldorf Airport and see Alan Norris that I knew I was in the right place. So that was quite amusing. Went on the longest zip wire in northern hemisphere.
That's you, not Alan Norris.
No, that was me.
126.
It's like jumping off the top of a mountain. Quite frightening at first, but still. Things we do at my age.
Yeah.
96.
Getting back to this game,
If I'd
Rod,
said to you when you were a kid, actually, Rod, when later in life, in 1 week or in 1 month, you will go to Japan to watch darts and hurl off a mountain at 70 miles an hour, you'd have laughed at me.
94.
Well, they had to put a little parachute behind me as I'd have reached 100, apparently.
Well, Webster here threatening a maximum.
140.
And that's all it is, threatening.
Studio
Sorry, Rod, you were going to say about
100.
the...
Yeah, he kind of needed it as well. I mean, he had two brilliant first legs, and that's what I said about when you're just coming back. Well, we're going for two double tops here from Stuart
60.
Kellett. And Mark Webster needs to
Mark
take this out.
Uruguay,
He missed the bullseye in the
108.
previous leg. He needs to get that momentum back going.
'84. Studio Uruguay 40.
So 3 darts at tops here for Kellett. Might need them as well. Well, he's had to go to 10s. Anxious times
20.
here for Kellett.
Mark Uruguay 24.
And Webster with a gilt-edged opportunity now to break back straight away. Double 12 for a 3-1 lead. Webster 2 going across to the other side of the board, and now he has to go for the awkward double 3. It can be awkward,
Game
not
shot
for
the
Webster.
forward leg, Mark Webster.
Well, Stuart
Fifth leg is
Kellett give
Mark
that
to
one
throw
away.
first.
Missing dart to the double, and that's just the little bit of luck that Webby needed
Game on.
to get that run back. As I said, 13-15 the first 2 legs, and then didn't play well the third. Nicks the fourth to take a 2-leg lead, and now he just needs to keep the pressure.
57.
Well, Webster's average has dipped right down to 91.6, but he still has a 3-1 lead.
100.
Alan Norris, by the way, plays in the first match of the evening session tonight against Andy Smith.
93.
The Pie Man is back with us once again. Winner of this one, by the way, will face Steve Beaton, the number 15 seed, in round 2 tomorrow. Beaton's been elevated a place in
82.
the seedings after the withdrawal of Gary Anderson. Benito van der Pas, beaten in Riesa in the final by Michael Smith, comes in to the top 16. He is here as well.
140.
Yes, and a player that's been playing very well. We'll see him in the match play that starts next Saturday. Up there in Blackpool, live on Sky Sports. It's a
80.
tournament that all the players love. Lovely venue. The arena there is incredible.
Well, Webster here
171.
looking good for a 4-1 lead. And Kellett
60.
is
Mark
well
Uruguay
adrift
40.
and still not on a finish, and Webster can just finish this one off with 3 darts, make that 2 darts at tops.
Game shot on the 5th leg, Mark Webster.
More than enough for Mark
6th leg
Webster.
is Stuart to throw first. Game on.
At least 3 out of 4 on the tops is Mark Webster. And pinching that 4th leg
96.
has kind of put Kellett on the back foot. Certainly put Mark Webster on the front foot.
83. $81.
Oh, Webby should switch.
101.
Oh, Kellett, he really has got to start putting 2 darts in the treble. 1 is not going to be good enough. He's missing darts at doubles at the
100.
end. And any opponent will realise that, especially Mark Webster. He's been around a long time. He'll think that even the legs I'm not scoring well. Keep with Kellett.
Yep.
And I'll nick a few more legs.
85. $96.
Yeah, Webster very much in the ascendancy here, as Rod said, a winner of the Lakeside World Championship in 2008.
65. Stuart Uruguay,
Semi-finalist
128.
in the PDC Worlds in 2010 as well.
And of course, he played in the Premier League just after
38.
that. And a lot
Mark
of people
Uruguay, 167.
think that was when the downfall was
It
a little
turned,
bit.
yeah.
He wants a bullseye here, and he'll go for it.
Well, he wasn't a million miles
142.
away.
Stuart Uruguay, 90.
Kellett with a bullseye here for a steal,
65.
or a hold, I should say.
Mark Uruguay, 25.
Well, I thought he might go the 1. Likes the double 12. Didn't hit it before. Had to go down to the double 3. Doesn't want to go down there again. Well, that's
19.
exactly where he's going to be.
Stuart Uruguay, 25.
A chance for Kellett to nick the leg back. It's
9.
only with the throw.
Yeah, 9-8 the route for Kellett instead.
Game shot on the
And he
stick
finds
leg.
it.
Stuart
It's
Kelly.
a good hold for
7
Kellett. He
seconds
needed
mark to
that.
throw
He got
first.
away with it to
Game
some
on.
extent. First rendition of Stand Up If You Love the Darts. 2,000 fans
140.
expected inside this arena tomorrow. It's a healthy crowd nevertheless today.
$95.
Oh, not a 180 in the game yet, but the 8 131
96.
buses, which are 140s for Mark Webster. That's where the 4-2 has come from.
$60.
Just been drawn to my attention, these two players have the same birthday. 12th of August. Webster born in 1983, Kellett in 1981, so just 2 years separating them.
180.
Well, there's a bit of a gulf separating them now here on the Oki.
140. Mark Uruguay, 85.
Well, to go one leg away from the next round.
45.
Didn't have to flirt with the bullseye with Stuart Kellett on 206. So Webby will come back. 3 out of 4 on double top. So he'll be more than
81.
confident that he'll clean
Mark
this leg
Uruguay,
up
40.
with this visit. Doesn't matter if it's even the 3rd dart, as long as you do it with the visit.
Well, he could effectively have 6 darts at it with Kellett on 125. It would be a tall order for Kellett to check out on
20.
that the way he's playing, but
Stuart
he might have a
Uruguay,
chance here, Kellett.
125.
Let's see what he can do. Can he make me eat my words? No, he can't, is the answer.
61. Mark Uruguay, 20.
But he lost a dart there, so if Webster misses this double 10, then Stuart Kellett comes back at 1 dart and a double instead of 2. Oh, yeah, low. He's got to pitch over them flights.
No score.
It was a silly last dart from Stuart
Stuart
Kellett.
Uruguay,
Go for
64.
16s instead of the 20s. It's cost him a dart at a double.
Another one of those leaves double 16
32.
for the break,
Mark
and he's
Uruguay,
not taken
20.
the opportunity. Now Webster flirting with this double 10. Can he take it out at the 4th time of asking? No, he can't. 5th time of asking. No, he can't. He's getting further away as well. This time he makes it count. My word, he was lucky to get away with that one. 6 starts needed to take out double 10, but he gets over the line. He's 1 leg away.
We talk about percentages in this commentary quite a bit, Rob, don't we? And
55.
You know, you have to play percentages at certain times because percentages are what wins you games. And by Stuart going for the 16 instead of the 20, that put 4 points on, put him on 64 and not 60. Now, coming back under pressure, 2 darts and a double for obvious reasons of what you've got to leave yourself the minimum.
100.
And going for the 16s on that was on 80 was crazy. I know Mervyn King does it all the time, but probably only about 2 out of 10 times you'll actually hit that treble 16.
140.
Webster momentarily threatening his 2nd maximum of the match.
42.
Kellett needed more than that on his own throw as well. 2 trebles here from Webster will make life very difficult indeed for Kellett. He's got them as well. Was it just pitched below?
140.
It did. It's 140 anyway.
$85.
Once again, Kellett landing only 1 treble there as well.
Yes, that's what's cost him the game, and that's what's won it for Mark Webster.
$81. $89.
I'd have stayed up there with the 2nd dart, to be quite honest. Yeah, you got your line and length. Stay up there with a 2nd, then switch with the 3rd. 76 left now. He's just checking to see what Stuart Kellett's on. He's got to go for. He may go for double-double. Oh, he's gone for the treble 20. Now the double 8.
78. Still you require 130.
Well, the champagne's on hold here for Webster, you might say. Kellett, though, would like to at least hold his throw here. Double 5
125.
is never the kindest, and it's not there either.
Mark, you require 16.
So Webster returns to double 8 for a 6-2 win and a place in the 2nd round and a meeting with Steve Beat in the 15th seed tomorrow. Chasing round the board once again, double 2.
12.
Not to beat.
Stuart, you require 5.
So this one going the distance. An 18 dart leg for both players so far. Double 1 for Kellett. That's some way off.
No score.
And he's busted.
Mark, you require 4.
Yeah, Webby. His darts kick up, so he's got to attack it with the first one.
Game shot. Man the match, Mark Webster.
And attack is he did. And eventually Mark Webster gets over the line. He was always in control of that one. He had the early break. He led by 2 legs to 0. And even though Kellett broke back straight away, so Webster responded in kind. And from that moment on, there was never any looking back. Just the 1 maximum for Webster today, but it was more than enough. And it's the Welshman who goes through to face Steve Beat in the 15th seed in the 2nd round tomorrow. We'll hear from Webster with Elmar Polka. Now up next, we've got 2 more qualifiers for you. One from the UK qualifiers, Eddie Dootson, against a man who came through last night. It's Yellow Class.
Won a 1st round game in the European Tour since the back end of 2013. So, you know, I need to highlight that problem now. It's costing me TV events, it's costing me performing in front of the big stages, so I've got to start performing in these big events. This is where the rewards are, so hopefully this is the start of something big, I hope.
May I ask you, what is the biggest difference between Mark Webster in the top 10 and Mark Webster right now? Is it the consistency? Is it the self-confidence? What is the biggest difference?
The one in years ago was better. Yeah, I'm a bit more confident, but obviously consistency and I mean, we play on a harsh circuit, you have a bad couple of moments and it hurts you, so I've just got to perform a bit better. It's as simple as that, really.
Good to see you tomorrow again. Thank you very much. Mark Webster. Thank you.
He's not firing on all cylinders, and he hasn't done for a year or so now. And when you come up against a player that's on the way up, then that is danger. So That's one of my picks for the first round of the match play. But this game here, obviously Jelle Klaassen is going to be massively odds-on favourite to beat Eddie Dootson. And rightly so, to be quite honest, when you look at the form book.
Yeah, well, Jelle comes into this off the back of winning the most recent Players' Championship event on Sunday. The Ian White in the final. The Adrian Lewis on the way to the final as well.
That must have been a very quick game. Blink and you've missed a leg there, I think.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First leg, Eddie to throw first. Game on!
Well, Eddie Dootson's got the throw. And he's an old campaigner, is Eddie, who just plays his own game. He won't be rattled with the speed or whatever Jelle Klaassen hits. And
100.
Well, he's got to stay focused.
Oh, Jelle Klaassen, storming start from the Dutchman. We said he was in form.
118.
Not a bad way to start.
Decent, steady dart.
83.
Well, we had Magnus Karras do a 9-dart leg last week.
It's on.
140.
Just the 5 perfect darts from Jelle Klaassen to start this match. And all of a sudden, that advantage of throwing first has dissipated somewhat. But Eddie Dootson firing back with one of his own.
118.
Well, that's certainly put him back in the leg. Now, a visit without a treble from Jelle. Well, that's exactly what he's done. And now advantage back to Eddie Dootson. And needs to hit at least one treble with this visit. He might go to them 18s now. Oh, that's a bad miss. So Jelle Klaassen's got to start off with the 18s.
Not far off. But Eddie Dootson may only get a dart at the bullseye himself. 86 he wants, so he'll look at the 18s. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Nice clean kill. 2 darts. 14 darter to start off with. After Jelle had thrown 5 perfect darts to start the match. Eddie Dootson 1-0.
Well, I said that Eddie's old school. He won't worry what the speed of Jelle or what he's going to hit. You just carry on, and when you see Jelle goes off 180, 140, and oh, that's unlucky.
60.
Well, that looked like 80 points on the floor to me. He's still come away with 60 there. Fair play to Eddie Dootson, but immediately puts him under pressure.
81.
Klaassen winning that tournament at the weekend. Only his second PDC tournament win. His first for nearly 8 years. I mean, when you look at the quality of the man, he probably had, until the final of the World Championships, he was probably the only guy that really worried Gary Anderson during his run to his first world title. And, I mean, he just looks unplayable at certain times, and yet only 2 PDC victories and 8 years without one nearly.
85.
Well, that's down to Dan, and you see it so often. You know, we're with them week in, week out. It's no good having 125 average for 2 games when you've got to win 5 or 6 games to win a tournament. And that's the bare facts of it. He couldn't keep it up. And it's the same with Michael. Michael van Gerwen was the same, but all of a sudden Michael learnt how to get that consistency, that little bit of edge. And now look what's happened to him. And the same with Jelle. And you see other players do it, but you also see other players that lose it. Jelle Klaassen levels it up with a 15-dart leg, a nice 80 clean kill. And we see other players lose it, and they're the ones that are drifting down the rankings.
Well, look, I mean, you kind of forget that he's only 30 years old, Jelle Klaassen. I mean, when he won the Lakeside, I think he was the youngest world champion at 21. But he has got, you know, years and years left in this game. He looks after himself. He's not had any health problems or anything like that. And if he is sort of going to grow as a dart player, because he's been knocking on the door this year, made 2 finals before he actually won that one on Sunday. He actually missed 10 match darts against Michael van Gerwen in one of them. But if he is going to be playing to that sort of level over the course of the year, there's going to be he's going to take a fair few scalps. He could do some serious damage, and maybe the match play is where it's going to happen. Maybe it's this weekend, who knows?
Well, I think you hit on that he looks after himself. I think that's a major issue with a lot of players. You know, when we get to Sunday and you've got to win, what, 4 games on Sunday? That is tough. That's where you need endurance. I know Phil Taylor's 54 years old and has done it all the time, but he's an exception to the rule. But you see other players that get to a semi-final, final, and all of a sudden they've run out of energy. You know, I'm afraid, even as a dart player, folks, you've got to keep yourself a little bit in trim.
86.
It's the 86 from Eddie Dootson opens the door for Jelle Klaasen here. Lovely dart. Now, is it?
Two double
it was
tops,
tops he went for.
97. Eddie require 130.
Well, we see him take 86 to hang on to the first leg. He needs to find the treble. Doesn't do it. And that didn't help if he comes back. Jelle Klaasen, one just above or just straight in. So that's a breaker throw for Jelle Klaasen.
Throw first. Game on.
This is where we'll see, you know, how the form of Jelle Klaasen is and how it's been.
58.
With, you know, this is a mega important leg for Jelle Klaasen. He's got to hold on to his throw to get that 2 legs advantage. Then all of a sudden, you're the one who's on the run. You're the one who's confident. But all of a sudden, then he gets it back again. Then all of a sudden, you're on the back foot. So a big leg for Jelle Klaasen here.
96.
Yeah, because of his speed, if he does get ahead of you, things can very quickly spiral out of control when you're playing Jelle Klaasen.
Well, in Gibraltar, one of the first tournaments we played out there many years ago, 9 180s, and he won 6-0.
When he's hot, he is very, very hot, Jelle Klaasen. And very, very quick as well. This isn't the quickest I've seen him play. The quickest was probably against Gary Anderson at the Worlds. I mean, it was absolutely mind-blowing. Even Gary said it was too quick for me, and he is no slouch.
He certainly isn't. Jelle needs another one of those.
98. And he require 170.
Well, he's left the 152. Surprisingly that he moved to the 18s. Obviously, it's better than taking out 150. The 152s, you need 2 treble 20s.
41.
But it looked good for a 140 from Klaasen.
152.
However, no pressure from Dootson.
Oh, look at this.
120. And you require 129.
Well, a chance for Eddie Dootson. Still a chance. He needed the treble there.
89.
So 3 clear darts and double 16, and it's another 16 dart leg and a little bit of daylight between these two. We said that Jelle needed to consolidate that breaker throw. That is exactly what he's done.
Yes, and Eddie kind of let him off a little bit. You're not going to win many legs against the throw if you're not going to go out 15. And that's another bit of bad luck from Eddie. He just clattered into the flights and taken all the speed off the dart.
99.
Few darts fans might be wondering who Eddie Dootson is. I mean, he's a newcomer to the PDC. He has been playing darts a long time. I mean, look at him. But played a lot of Lancashire League stuff. It was this year's UK Open where he announced himself, though. Came through the qualifiers, made a semi-final in one of the qualifiers, as well as a last 16 spot. That made him one of the top seeds for it. Beat Robert Thornton and Joe Cullen, only losing to Devon Peterson in his run to the last 16 of that major down in Minehead.
Yes, I think if you mentioned it to any of the BDO county system people, they've known Eddie for a long, long time, and a tough competitor. You know, as I said, he's old school. He just plays his game. It doesn't matter who he's playing. If you play Van Gerwen, Taylor, it is not going to worry him. But like everybody, just lacks that little bit of consistency just to move to the next level.
78. And he requires 79.
So 79 should get at least a dart at double top.
Well, if he pops this in, fair play to him after dropping the dart.
Brilliant,
absolutely brilliant. It's always an absolute killer when you drop a dart, you pick it up quickly and you stand up, you think, what's going on? But a good clean kill from Dootson. Had the 86 to win his first leg, 79 to win his second.
100.
Winner of this one will face Dave Chisnell, seeded 14th as Klaassen just misses out on another maximum.
Well, if it is this man who wins this, Jelle Klaassen against Chisnell, that could be quite a pacey game. If it goes 6-5, that won't last more than about 10 minutes.
You could see a lot of big scores in that one. The beauty of these European Tour events, and slightly different seeding system, so you do get some incredible ties thrown up very, very early on. Double nine.
No one hits double nine down. No one does.
But only a matter of time before we came round to that topic. Oh, Maximum puts a bit of pressure. And that's what he's got. So all of a sudden, Eddie Dootson back in the leg. Double two for Klaassen, though. Still double two. Gets it, 4-2.
Last dart, and that really was a crucial dart for Klaassen. Holds on to his two-leg lead. I had a guy on Twitter the other day telling me that I didn't know what I'm talking about, because in a local league match, he split the 18s and hit the double nine first dart.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
There you go.
He should be a professional.
There you go.
I won't mention his name. I won't give him any more fame than what he's just had.
Well, the rewards are there. £10 million tour we're looking at now, following Mr. Hearn's big announcement the other day. £300,000 for the winner of the World Championship as well. You got into this game at the wrong time, Rod.
No, I'm in at the right time. Too old for all that. I was going to say too old for all that running about, and I left at 4:30 this morning.
Wow. Dedication this top team of commentators bring to this game. Jelle Klaassen averaging in the mid to high 90s at the moment. Eddie Dootson has only had 2 darts at double. He's hit them both. His scoring power has not quite been enough so far in this one. He has had a couple of fall out the board, and that 139 will certainly help him.
$134, and he required 138.
Well, he's going to get 6 darts from here. May only need the 3. He's going for the 18s.
98. $56, and he require 40.
Topsy wants for 4-3. Last dart in hand.
20.
Well, will he return? This would be a killer from Jelle Klaassen. Needs a treble for a go at the ball. Gets it.
105.
Misses out on the bullseye, though.
And he require 20.
Well, Eddie doesn't want to split this and start chasing up to the 5s, because that's another bad route. Well, he's hit the double 5, so keeps himself in this game. He's still a breakdown.
98.
And this is where he's got to find a 12-dart leg, hasn't he? You don't think Jelle Klaassen's going to throw more than 15?
140.
That's a great start.
Klaassen hit him back, though. There you go. Another 180 for the Dutchman. A few hundred here at the Maritime Hotel for this afternoon's session as Dootson hits. There's another one on the floor.
That's 4 trebles he's had on the floor. And again, that you could see that hit the flights and just took all the power off the dart.
Could have made a big difference in this leg as well.
$81. Yellow require 100.
Certainly would have made a big difference now.
Yeah, an extra
coming back
60
to 100.
points.
87. And you require 160.
Well, it's a big one, but it's a nice one. 2 treble 20s for double top.
$60. Yellow require 56.
Should be 20 for double 18.
Game shot at the 8th leg.
Double 18 it is for Jelle Klaassen.
9th leg.
One leg away from...
Game on.
And he shakes his head saying, come on, I should be playing better than this, but I don't know, 5-3 up, I'll settle for that.
100.
Dusseldorf crowd alternating between trants of Jelle Klaassen and Eddie Dootson.
In Japan, they were cheering for one opponent while the other was thrown, and then vice versa. It was unbelievable. As Klaassen hits the 5th maximum of this match.
Oh, wonderful stuff from Jelle Klaassen. Wonderful setup shot. That means he'll be coming back looking at his favourite double 18 for a 6-3 win. Eddie Dootson, all he can do is apply some pressure. I wouldn't be surprised if he went for the maximum here, if he put the first two in the treble. But double 18 for 6-3 for Jelle Klaassen, who will face Dave Chisnell in the second round. What a game that is going to be. Very, very impressive from Jelle Klaassen. Dootson didn't do a great deal wrong. Gravity was his biggest enemy. He saw a number of points fall out the board at crucial times, but Klaassen gets the job done. He will face Chisnell in the second round. Surter. Dan Dawson in the commentary box for this one as the action from the European Darts Open continues here at the Maritime Hotel in Dusseldorf. Rod Harrington's disappeared off, but...
He's out to lunch.
Yes, but fresh from a in-depth bit of research on Christian Surter. It's Rob Malarkey alongside me. Rob, what have you got?
Well, I've been speaking to his barber, and he was last in there 3 weeks ago. It's taken 21 days in the making to produce what you see on stage here. And that's just the goatee. European Tour debutant Christian Surter coming through qualifying last night. He's on a roll, but he's up against a man in Johnny Haynes, who's a relative newcomer to the PDC circuit. Beat Kevin Painter 6-1 and Steve Hines 6-5 to secure his seat on the plane to Dusseldorf this weekend. The punk is 50 years of age. Dropped all the way to the world number 76 spot in January. Had to come through Q School to win his place back on the PDC Tour. Did so. Earned a fresh 2-year tour card, and here he is, looking to make a big impression this weekend as well. Playing in his first European Tour event of the year. Played in this event 12 months ago. But he's up against, and I use this very infrequently, an unknown quantity, and I think Surter is exactly that.
Well,
as far as we're concerned.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had a little look around for stuff on Christian Surter. Johnny Haynes starts off at the ton 40. He did try and qualify for this last year, didn't make it through. There's not a great deal else out there about him. But despite the fact we've had 5 host nation qualifiers make it through last night, we got the extra one because of the withdrawals of Keegan Brown and Benito van der Pas. Despite that,
85.
Max Hopp hasn't made it through. Sasha Stein, who had that run at the World Championships, he's not made it through. This man saw them both off, along with Hans-Joachim Hilde, and he beat Max Hopp 6-1. And with the way that Max has been playing lately, I mean, in qualifying for Riesa, the last European Tour event, he won his 3 qualifying games, all 6-0, and he hit a 9 dart. So the boy has been playing some very, very good stuff, as well as, of course, their run at the World Cup of Darts. But Christian Surter saw him off rather comfortably.
99.
So maybe he's a bit of a danger, but Johnny Haynes is down to a finish after 3 visits to the board, and he's looking at 136. And that'll do nicely for him. Winner of this one will face Benito van der Pas, bumped up to 16th seed because of the withdrawals that we've had.
140.
Well, that got the crowd going, but Haynes is in a good position here to steal with double 18, and he does.
Johnny Haynes, second leg, Johnny to throw first. Game on.
Haynes flew into Dusseldorf this morning. He was on my flight from Heathrow, I can tell you that as well.
Did you turn left? Are you on the business or first class?
He was on row 11, right behind me.
Wow.
It was one of those, it took me a while just to try and put 2 and 2 together. I was racking my brains for a good 5-10 minutes, and then I realised who it was.
81.
Didn't ask him, but just knew.
What was the final giveaway? The teeth?
I wasn't going to say. I wasn't going to say. Just his demeanour.
Just his general demeanour.
43.
Some limited success on the tour this year for Johnny Haynes. 3 last 16 places, yet to find himself in a quarter-final. But one of those last 16 was on Sunday. That was the tournament that Jelle Klaassen went on to win, beating Ian White in the final. James Wade won the one on the Saturday.
140.
He has made a quarter-final of a European Tour event before, though. It was the Dutch Darts Masters, but it was back in 2012. That's as well as he's done in a PDC event.
45.
I remember seeing him at the Worlds a couple of years ago as well. He was a first-round loser to Wes Newton. He's one appearance at Ali Pali. Just the 45, but he's got a narrow lead over Serta. It's a bit of a dog of a leg, this one.
It is. No one's really taking control of it by the scruff of the neck. Haynes does stand a long way over to that right side of the oche when he approaches the board.
60.
See another man who does that on the way this evening, Stephen Bunting, the Bullet. He's up against Jihan Artut. Now Christian Serta.
140.
Just a ton 40, but it gets him down to Shanghai, and it's a chance to break back against Johnny Haynes here.
83. Christian require 120.
Well, this will get the crowd going. And part 1 and 2 have been accomplished.
80.
Part 3 wasn't.
Johnny require 106.
18s he wants. Gets it. And gets the double 16. Johnny Haynes pinching that one and leads 2-0.
Christian to throw first. Game on.
Well, Serta must have thought it was a chance to get back into the match straight away, to level things up straight away, but Johnny Haynes having none of that whatsoever.
100.
Nonchalantly chewing his gum at the oche as well as he goes about his business very effectively here.
55.
The 50-year-old from Swindon.
Certainly Christian Serta. I mean, the fact that he's got his own dart shirt with his name on, then that shows that he's not just turned up having played in his garage for ages. I mean, I have seen.
I don't know about that. They're quite easily obtainable, aren't they? Sure.
And we have seen guys in the European Tour, people like Fabian Hertz, who basically come out of nowhere and nobody ever heard
in
of
Gibraltar.
Oh man, what Valerio? What a man he is.
44.
Played at the World Cup, of course. Been around for ages. But I have found some various German websites I was trying to make sense of, which referred to Christian Serta's darting career. He has been around in Germany. I think he's played a bit of soft tip stuff. He won a doubles tournament last year, the Masters of Masters. Year before, I think he'd won the singles event, and they were tournaments that included the likes of Sasha Stein, who saw the World Championships. So, I mean, he evidently is a face on the scene of German darts. It's just that he's not really putting any appearances on the PDC circuit.
Yeah, I saw several references to the German Darts League as well. Talking of soft tip, by the way, one man who is reputed to be, or was once, one of the best in the world on the electronic board, Michael Rosenauer, also made it through. He's in action later as well. maybe one or two things expected of him this weekend, although he's got a first-round match against Jamie Lewis, if I'm not mistaken, and that is the case.
Now then.
55.
Well, Johnny Haynes took out 106 in the last leg after Surter had missed a dart at double top. He might be about to take out 120 in this leg to punish him for the same mistake.
100.
Well, it would have been a second breaker throw as well. Surter needs to find this now. Right on the wire. Further away. Not this time. Surter gets his first leg on the board.
Fourth leg, Johnny to throw first. Game on.
Yep, feeling much better about things now. Surter after that, that's got the crowd going, but needs to find more, needs to find a break as well. Let's not forget.
Yeah, you mentioned the Jamie Lewis-Michael Rosenauer game. That will be the last one on this evening. And the winner of that
100.
gets to face the world number 1, Michael van Gerwen. Good luck with that. Man who's won 4 out of the 5 European Tour events.
45.
Yeah, 2015. He may not have won the Premier League, didn't win the World Championship either, but Van Gerwen has been truly dominant elsewhere in 2015.
Yeah, Masters and UK Open champion, of course.
100.
And he really, really wants the match play. Really wants it. Not won that, of course. Made the final last year and got, well, a bit of a hiding from Phil the Power Taylor, a man who's won the last 7 match plays. Last person to beat him was Terry Jenkins 8 years ago.
60.
No Phil Taylor this weekend, but there is a Michael van Gerwen. There is James Wade. Peter Wright, the man who won here last year. Oh, some big names. Michael Smith, of course, the guy who won the last European Tour event.
85.
Yeah, the man Peter Wright beat last year as well. Simon Whitlock is here this weekend too. Chizzy was a finalist here a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, I should say. He is seeded for this one as well. He'll be here tomorrow.
And they play Jelle Klassen in what is already one of the ties of the second round. Don't bust it, Christian.
136.
Sets it up perfectly. Now, Johnny Haynes, 96 for a 3-1 lead. He's under pressure, but he's got 2 clear darts. Oh, lovely stuff, Johnny Haynes.
Pressure, what pressure. Brilliant from Johnny Haynes. A 106 check out for a 2-0 lead, a 96 check out for a 3-1 lead. He looks to be in a very good place right now, Johnny Haynes.
100.
Russ Bray just taking a second glance at that final darts. Just the ton for Surter.
100.
Likewise for Haynes. Surter reminds me of someone. It's driving me wild.
22.
Can't think who it is. It'll come to me.
Samuel L. Jackson.
60. 82.
Good recovery from Surter to an extent. Haynes, though, does, or maybe thinking about a chance again to break here.
55.
Not with darts like that.
Johnny Haynes had to come through the UK qualifiers for this course. Christian Surter.
139.
Saw Kevin Painter, as well as Steve Hine, in qualifying for this one. It's his first European Tour event of the year. He did make 3 last year, though.
84. Christian require 148.
Yeah, including this one.
Now, he said 148, I believe, there. There's Russ. Now,
this is crucial if there is a...
Yeah, I think it must be double 14. Well, that's what he's going for. Ignore that scoreboard. 148 checkout from Christian Surter. What a finish that is.
Yeah, they're struggling to reset the scoreboard here as well, so it is 3-2. And it was a check out of 148.
And for the first time on the European Tour, last time out, we had a German make the final day of action. That was Max Hopp, having seen off Mervyn King, found himself in the last 16. He didn't go any further than that.
100.
It's certainly not full here for the Friday afternoon session, but it will be absolutely packed all weekend, and they would love to see some host nation representation in the final day of action. Max isn't here, of course. Jihan Arthur has the very, very tough task of taking on the former Lakeside World Champion Stephen Bunting later, but maybe Christian Surter, maybe Michael Rosenau,
maybe Michael
Thomas
Langendorf.
Mike Langendorf, of course.
Although he's strictly speaking Austrian, but he represents Germany as a player.
It's a rather fluid nationality, I think.
Well, the way Surter's been playing in the last leg and a half or so, it may well be that he's harbouring hopes of being here tomorrow.
100.
Another one of those would go down very nicely indeed. Bang on cue, finds the one.
He's got down to a finish first, but even a ton for Johnny Haynes here would probably make him favourite.
100. Christian require 100.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's got. Tall order this for Surter, but he has taken out a 148. Won't be taking this out though. Nicely done. Nicely done. He's there just in case Haynes slips up. Might not slip up. 2 at tops. Double 10 for a 4-2 lead.
Game shot in the
And that's exactly what he does. Christian Surter, that's a bit of a sucker punch for him, because he would have been really hopeful there of at least returning to the hockey and finishing off, but Haynes takes the opportunity away from him.
I'll tell you what, the finishing in this game has been pretty special. We had 106 under pressure from Johnny Haynes, then he took out that 96 in 2 darts, again under pressure. The 148 from Surter, and now 100 from Johnny Haynes. Very, very impressive stuff from these two. Still a little way to go in this one. Christian Surter needs to hold his throw. He needs to find a break somewhere as well. Having been broken in the very first leg with a 13-darter from Johnny Haynes. The punk from Swindon.
85.
Good to hear the pistols employed in the walk-on though. Long overdue.
45. Christian require 161.
May have been a slight amendment there. Rusbray just had a word with Surter before he stepped up. 161 though is the required score.
60.
Make that 101.
He's 200 points clear here. So Christian Surter has got a nice gentle stroll towards this leg. And no
60.
pressure from Johnny Haynes.
Christian require 100.
We have another ton plus checkout.
Why not? Yeah, he's going the right way about it.
89.
Just unable to finish it off there. Will be back for double 6.
95. Christian require 12.
It's a double 6. Working his way in.
No score.
He's probably going to be back, but this would eclipse even the 148 we saw from Surter earlier on. Not going to happen. There's going to be pressure though.
100. Christian required 12.
He's had 3 goes at it already.
Game shot is 7.
4 will do nicely. It's 4-3. Still in with a chance here is Christian Surter. Johnny Haynes is going to be made to work for this. And after a shocking scoring leg from him last leg,
140.
kicks off 140 in this.
Yeah, just needs to try and rediscover some momentum here, Johnny Haynes. Seems to have been stopped in his tracks. He looked very, very comfortable at 3-1. But that 148 checkout in leg 5 from Surter just breathed new life into him. I'm not putting it beyond Surter to break back here and
100.
get back into contention.
Good last dart from Haynes, though, firing it over the top of the first two, and it looked like he blocked his path to the bed.
100. 100. 100. Johnny require 161.
161 then. He doesn't need to go for the 17s and the ball here.
97.
Not with Christian Surter back on 218, but if he can fire a couple of trebles in here, there's going to be some pressure on Johnny Haynes in this 64. The finishing has been pretty good in this match so far.
36.
Nothing particularly good about that.
64.
So some breathing space here for Haynes. Tops he wants for a 5-3 lead.
44.
Just underneath the wire. A couple of millimetres in it, but he will be back at double 10.
Likes of former Lakeside World Champion Christian Kist and ex-Premier League star Wes Newton on the way this afternoon. Right now, though, it's Johnny Haynes who's within a leg of the next round.
Christian to throw first. Game on.
Well, Surter's got to win the next 3 on the spin. It's, on the face of it, looks a tall order, and with a start like that, it could be an even taller one.
45.
And Haynes has a chance here to really turn the screw and just stamp his authority on this 9th leg. It could be the final leg as well.
100.
An early break in the very first leg from Johnny Haynes with a 13 darter. Since then, it's just been hold after hold after hold. He'd take that, but he prefers to get the job done right now.
45.
It will be a step up in trip for either of these players against Van der Pas in the second round tomorrow. 21 dart leg for leg 2 there, by the way, for Haynes after that 13 dart leg opener.
That's about as good as it's got. That 148 check out from Surter in the 5th leg there, you see. And he got the job done in 5 visits to the board. But aside from that, it's not been a match that they'll sing songs about. Now though.
140.
Still giving it a go, Surter. You see the averages there, 84 plays 85. Surter just shading it in truth, but
78.
Certainly one leg there where Johnny Haynes was quite some way away.
$95. Johnny requires.
Sets it up nicely, unless, no.
58. Christian require 40.
Well, a hold here from Surter, 5-4, puts the pressure back on. Haynes can see the finish line, he's not there yet. 5-4 it is.
Well, it's fair to say he's not wilted on his European Tour debut, Christian Surter. We have seen some players just not be able to handle the occasion, the stage, the crowds, the cameras.
60.
Go into their shells a bit. I mean, all right, he's not torn the place up or set the place alight. 148 checkout. He's taken 4 legs so far. If he can win this leg, he'd be thrown for the match.
I thought somebody had set the place alight this morning when I arrived. There was smoke everywhere. Just the effects.
They do love a bit of dry ice in Dusseldorf.
They do.
They love it. You see, a couple of ton-plus checkouts there. But Johnny Haynes, once he gets... Well, both of these guys, in fact, once they get a one-dart checkout, they've been very, very good at taking it out. But overall... important last dart.
64.
Overall, it's Johnny Haynes finishing that's put him in the position he has. I mean, that we've mentioned it before, the 106, the 100, the 96, and he's taken those out under pressure as well. That's been the difference between these two so far, but it is not over just yet.
Well, Surta's doing his best to make sure it is
24.
over. 26, followed by a 24. 50 on the board from 6 darts. Haynes eclipsing that, and then some here.
139.
And he's very much in the driving seat now.
Yeah, we said about him not being overawed, but that's probably, we get to the business end of the game. He's had 2 very poor visits consecutively, and it's going to allow Johnny Haynes a lot easier ride than perhaps he would have expected following the first 9 legs of this match. He might get it done right here. He won't. But he'll set it up.
118.
Yeah. Well, he can taste the victory now. Surta can't buy a treble at the moment. 26, 24 and 60
41.
in his last 3 visits. And it's just nowhere near good enough even against a player like Johnny Haynes, who does indeed secure the victory by 6 legs to 4. And it's the 50-year-old from Swindon who goes through to round 2, where he will face Benito van der Pas tomorrow. Well, a man who is making his first European Tour events appearance this year. He hasn't played in any of the European Tour events since Austria last year. It's the Welshman Barry Bates, and up against Barry today is a man who made a good impression in Riesa at the end of last month. He eventually made it all the way through to the last 16 before succumbing 6-2 to Terry Jenkins, a player of great promise, the 21-year-old Roby John Rodriguez. Rod Harrington back in the chair for this one. Contrast of styles, I suppose, here, and age as well.
Certainly a big contrast in the age. Yeah, let's talk about Barry Bates first. A good few years ago, probably 10 years ago, he was one of the toughest guys on the circuit to beat. And any one of the old schooler players will tell you that. I mean, he really was playing well. And then he had this injury with his foot. And I know it happened to me first. I said, you've got to take a rest, Barry, leave it alone for 2 months, and he didn't. And it just got worse. And he's had this arthritis also in his right hand. And so it isn't to make an excuse for Barry Bates. They are the facts. Let's talk about this young man. I mean, what a future this young man's got if he keeps on the straight and narrow. I mean, he really is. He's a character. He's got the ability. 100. And he's got the bottle for a young man as well. Yeah,
and he's clearly embraced this European Tour this year as well. He's qualified now for 5 tournaments. He first made his appearance this year in Gibraltar, lost to Kevin Painter, qualified for Munich, for Van Rij, and for Riesa as well, where he reached the last 16. And, well, you wouldn't bet against him having another good run this weekend as well. The winner will play Vincent van der Voort 92. In the second round, and van der Voort was one of the men that Rodriguez beats on his way to the last 16 in Riesa at the end of last month as well. So 60. The signs are good for him, and you'd have to have him down as the favourite here.
You just took the words out of my mouth. The form book says that Rodriguez is the favourite, and Barry of old, he would have certainly been stepped up here the favourite, but just. It's good to see him on the way back and throwing some decent darts again. It really is.
Yeah, Bates, you may recall, got to the quarter-finals of the World Championship, the PDC World Championship, 6 years ago, 2009. UK Open finalist as well, a few years before that. 45 years of age these days. Another Welshman involved this weekend. Mark Webster's already through. Jamie Lewis plays later.
Game shot the first leg.
But it's Rodriguez who
second leg is Barry
opens things
first.
up
Game on.
with the first leg on the throw.
Yes, the one thing Barry's got to do, he mustn't let this young man get too far in front, because you'll see him start to bounce about a little bit, get a little bit quicker with his throw, which is all about the confidence.
123.
And it goes with all these youngsters. When they get that confidence, and people say it's arrogance. Arrogance is confidence. And I like to see it in a person. You can't all go up there boring. You've got to be your own character. We were talking about Peter Wright earlier on. I mean, he's not arrogant at all. But when he's got the mask on, he's a confident, real, good character. And that's what Rodriguez is making himself into, a bubbly character.
It can be that arrogance breeds confidence, and vice versa as well.
48.
Just looking at Rodriguez as well, it was interesting that when we saw him in Venray at the Dutch Darts Masters, he played Justin Pipe in the second round, lost 6-5. It was a match that could have gone either way, and in the end, Pipe went all the way to the final, lost to Van Gerwen, admittedly, once he got there, but it could so easily have been Rodriguez's campaign 44. That weekend. Had the coin flipped the other way in that second round match, if you like. It was that close.
I think it was probably the speed, because we all know that Justin's a lot slower than most players, but that's just the way Justin is.
60.
And I think that was what caused him to lose that more than anything. And Bates can get this back. Right now wants the bullseye.
56.
Well, Rodriguez could see his third dart at the bullseye if he hits, but he needs to hit the treble 19 to do that.
Well,
he hasn't done.
58. Barry Uruguay 25.
So great chance here for Bates to level things up. 9 double eights is the route, and it's a very good route as well. Nicely done.
Throw first. Game on. 180.
10th of the event. Fridays is never a great, well, especially the afternoon, it's never a great afternoon for hitting 180s. It kind of gets warmed up tomorrow with the maximums.
Might be another one here.
As I say that, we're on a 9 dart leg.
Bang on cue.
100. Rabi Uruguay 141.
Well, it's a great leg this for Rabi.
105.
You actually heard that first dart clip the wire. That's how close it was.
60.
But a 10 dart leg
36.
is an exceptional leg. So's an 11.
Maybe a 12.
Game shot on the third leg.
12 it is, doesn't really matter, he's over the line.
Throw first. Game on.
Well, zipping through these first 3 legs.
97.
Roby, a very, very quick visitor to the Oki.
85.
Sometimes the only thing that these youngsters need to learn, and Michael Smith is one of them, but he is learning, is the way to grind results out. Well, that's the third maximum for Rodriguez. I just about to say, he needs to hit 180s against the throw, and that's what he's exactly done.
140.
But sometimes they lose games. They're in front early part of the game, and all of a sudden someone edges back, and then it comes to nitty-gritty, and they throw a few bad darts at the wrong time.
164.
You need to learn to stay focused and grind the result out.
79. Rabi Uruguay 96.
Potential 11 dart leg here for Rodriguez. Where's that landed? It's landed in the treble, and it's found the double 14 as well.
Mensur Suljovic must have showed him that result, that combination. And the double 14. That's Mensur Suljovic's favourite double.
45.
Unusual way of going.
$43. 93.
93.8 the average for Rodriguez at the moment. Bates just under 79. That's one difference between the two. 3 maximums to 0 is the other. Things going to form at the moment here for Rodriguez. Played his part in the World Cup recently alongside Suljovic.
140.
Suljovic is becoming a real tough cookie to beat. Another player that's slow, but let's not let that cloud how good a player is, like Justin Pipe. They may be slow, but they still throw great darts.
Yeah, they're not doing anything wrong.
140.
Suljovic, by the way, in action in the second match of the evening session. He's up against the Belgian youngster Mike de Decker. As Rodriguez threatens another maximum, and he gets it. My word. Lots to like about Rodriguez here. Bates with a chance to finish things off.
Oh, I don't believe
And he's busted. Absolutely cruel. That leaves the ball.
49.
Oh, he was somewhere off with that one.
78.
Problem is Barry's still coming back for 78, so he may only get one dart or double, which he will, to stay really in this match. He's missed it. I mean, that dart should go in double top, if anything. We've all done it though. So now double 16 and double 16 it is, and I've talked about that confidence, that arrogance that they speed up. I mean, the speed of the switch to the double 16 was electrifying.
Yeah. I mean, the speed of the 96 checkout in leg 4, it caught the well, the cameras couldn't keep pace when he went to the treble 16. And here we go again, Rodriguez out of the blocks here. Well, it just that second dart was just outside that bed. He's lost his flight there as well. Now then, Barry Bates, help yourself to your first maximum. No, not to be.
A good couple of 12 darters there.
100.
It's that 20 dart leg that's going to be the killer for Barry Bates that Rodriguez won. He should have nicked that and only been 3-2 down with the throw. $140.
Well, got away with a 20 dart leg in leg 5. A couple of 12 dart legs as well for Rodriguez.
Robbie, you require 161.
Might be in for another 12 dart leg here. Not anymore.
105. Barry, you require 141.
Well, I like that switch. I prefer it with the third dart, but he's done exactly what he's needed to do. He's given himself 2 darts and a double instead of 1.
105. Robbie, you require
to take
56.
a 5-1 lead. Oh, wow.
He's hit the 7 there.
Yes, he's only going to get the 1 dart.
Oh, and he's hit the 3. He was looking for the
16.
Well, I'm not quite sure. I mean, that was over the other side of the 3, so I'm not quite sure what his route was there. Anyway, Bates has a chance here for double 18.
No score. Robbie, you require 40.
Well, he was looking for the 17 to lead double 16, but either way, he might get away with it here.
Game shot on the 6th leg. Robbie John Rodriguez.
Yes, Barry let him off there a bit.
Game on.
That's when you've got to punish him. We keep talking about putting them on the back foot. That was a leg that he could have actually put him on the back foot. Made Rodriguez start thinking about, that he's just given a leg away.
125.
Mark Walsh and Thomas Saylor waiting in the wings. Saylor, one of the German qualifiers from last night. Bates here facing up to a very, very swift exit.
60.
His first European Tour event since the Austrian Open in June of last year. He made a first round exit there against Ben Ward, lost 6-4.
100.
45-year-old from Merthyr Tydfil could be on his way back to the valleys very, very quickly.
44.
Roby John Rodriguez on course for the most emphatic victory of the day so far.
60.
Well, it's not a bad place to go back to, the valleys. Beautiful part of the country.
A shake of the head there from Bates. You can just see the look on his face.
42.
He looks
a
forlorn figure on stage now. Rodriguez with plenty of room for manoeuvre here. Doesn't need to panic, doesn't need to stretch himself on this visit anyway. Just wants to set it up nicely. And he's left himself double 4.
$140. Robbie, you require 8.
Leaves double 2, and there it is.
Robbie John Rodriguez.
Nicely done from Roby John Rodriguez. The youngster, the 21-year-old from Austria, is through in double quick time. A couple of 12 dart legs in there as well. A very impressive checkout of 96, an average as well of 91.19. No problems whatsoever. Barry Bates is on his way home. And Vincent van der Voort once again will face Rabi John Rodriguez.
Turn it on at the big stage events usually, although he did have, you know, a couple of runs in some big tournaments. He's a former UK Open finalist, former semi-finalist at the Grand Slam. Fair to say it's been a tough old time for Mark Walsh these last 2 or 3 years. Can he turn back the clock as he takes on Thomas Saylor here? Dan Dawson in the commentary box for this one, alongside me, Rod Harrington.
Well, like I say, Dan, a few years ago, Mark Walsh was one of the toughest cookies on the circuit to beat, that's for sure. But now, I think he took his eye off the ball. We talk about it a lot with players, to take their eye off the ball, thinking it was just going to be there without having to, you know, keep focused and keep practicing properly. And in my opinion, I think Walsh, he took his eye off the ball, and all of a sudden, once you start to drop down, and then it's a harder road back up the second time than it certainly was the first time. But on his day, a great dart player.
Now, Thomas Saylor has been in a bit of form of late. Took Phil Taylor to 11 legs in one of the Players' Championships recently. Taylor had to take out an 11-darter in the decider, with Saylor sat on a 2-dart finish. Similarly, took Big John Henderson to 11 legs at a recent tournament, and Hendo
97.
saw off 361 and 6 darts in the deciding leg, and a 12-darter. So he's got himself in positions to win games. Getting over the line has historically been difficult for this man. However,
81.
He came through the qualifiers last night, saw off Alexander Tauber 6-5, so he's got through a close one there before he beat Matthias Turdenhofer.
Yeah, I think this is a tough one for the bookies to call.
140.
Well, they'd probably have them 5 to 6 to 2, I think. I think we could see quite a few legs in this one. Or it could be a long time for this game to be played.
Well, we shall see. They have met this year already. That was in Barnsley in March, and Saylor emerged victorious from that one.
Yeah, I think I'd have to edge on the side of Mark Walsh, I have to say.
100.
We did have a good day in qualifying for this, Mark Walsh. He qualified for this one and the previous event in Riesa. He saw off Jamie Caven and Dave Pallett and Matt Paget. He only dropped 5 legs in those 3 games in qualifying for this Walshy. And as well as qualifying for Riesa, it's a good old day for him. But when it came to the actual event proper, he went out in round 1 to Mensur Suljovic.
Yeah, see, Mark didn't have to go for that 54. It's all very well
80.
taking out a bullseye on the 164, because it looks great and it warms the crowd up. But do you know what? When your opponent is that far behind, and he threw first, just get that first breaker throw under your belt. I know he's still going to have 6 darts from here, but we see it so often where all of a sudden someone goes and hits a 140 and takes a big shot out. Anyway, for a 14-dart first leg,
Game shot the first
absolutely
leg.
perfect from Mark Walsh, nice and tidy.
Second leg is Mark to throw first. Game on.
And a breaker throw as well. So Walshy with an early advantage as he looks to book his place in the second round to face Brendan Dolan. He's the number 5 seed.
100.
Fellow Northern Irishman Darrell Gurney couldn't make it through. That was our opening match of the afternoon session, of the tournament, in fact. He was beaten 6-5 by Kevin McDine. Real close contest. We could have another on the cards here.
Well, Mark Walsh is one of the very few players that's come back from dartitis.
Yep.
You know, a few years ago, it was horrible to watch. You know, just could not let go of the dart, but he went away and come back. And to be fair, he actually come back better than he was before it.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with the throw when you look at it now, is there?
No.
I mean, there's no hint. I mean, it's smooth, it's fluid. I mean, that was a lovely looking first dart.
It is all about the first dart, you know, getting it in the right place all the time.
140.
You know, you can always make a 140 from the first dart, but if you know, you're not getting that first dart in a good position, then, you know, it's all to do with that confidence as well. When you're at the top of your game, you can throw them left-handed, literally, and they're going to go in. But when you're just, you know, under pressure all the time, you think too much about every single dart. you tend to lose a little bit of your natural ability trying to keep your arm straight, make sure your elbow doesn't move.
60.
And so sometimes you can overthink this game. I think, you know, you'd probably say the same with golfers as well. Their technique of the swing is, you know, the motion is similar to the darts,
28.
where you've got so many moving parts that can actually ruin the end product.
And needs one little thing to go wrong and it throws everything else out of sync. Thomas Taylor punching himself in the head at the back of the stage there.
Because what happens then is, as you're releasing the dart, if you haven't brought it back right, the elbows move, your brain then tells your hand that this is not going to go right, so you try and overcompensate. And that's when you end up like a Dave Chisnell snatch, although a lot of Dave Chisnell snatching darts go in.
80.
We will see Chizzy in action tomorrow up against Jelle Klaassen. What a game that is.
Looking
now,
forward to
25
that
ball.
one.
15.
40.
Well,
Thomas
scrappy,
Uruguay,
and it gives
95.
Thomas Taylor an option here. Now, is that a good lie for him to find the balls up? Well, maybe not, just by the way he's moving across the oche.
You know, as a right-handed player down, I'd always move to the right. Oh, but he's in the bullseye absolutely brilliantly. Absolute brilliant dart from Thomas Taylor. And I can assure you that that's harder to hit from the left-hand side for a right-handed person than from the right.
Game on.
And the chant of Deutschland, Deutschland echo around the Maritime Hotel here.
100.
He will have the advantage if he can get... It's not a capacity crowd today, obviously, it's the Friday afternoon, but they'll make enough noise to make a difference potentially, particularly with Mark Walsh. You know, he'll be feeling the pressure. He's not gone past the last 32 of a tournament in the PDC since February last year. So, I mean, every game on stage for Mark Walsh is every game full stop is a real struggle for him these past year or two.
Yes, it certainly is, and I think that last leg was typical Walsh, is why he's not been in more contention. You know, he puts himself in a good position, wants 80, and then doesn't even have a dart at a double. Where certainly a few years back, you'd have guaranteed he'd have probably had 2 darts at the double.
100.
He was always very solid as a player, wasn't he? I mean, he wasn't going to tear you apart with massive scoring. He wasn't going to take out huge finishes leg after leg, but he would be a very, very consistent performer. That's taken into 6 PDC titles, all floor events, but also to those runs in the bigger tournaments, which I mentioned earlier, like the UK Open final and the Grand Slam semi-final.
Well, you didn't play bad and beat Walshy, that's for sure. You know, he's in that category. You said solid, it's a good word. You know, Andy Hamilton's the same. I'd put him in that category as well.
Again, another player who's struggled a bit of late, not qualified for this one, as the Hammer.
92.
Former World Championship finalist, of course.
Yeah, you can't put your finger on it, but once they come off the boil and they start to slide, it's so hard to get back.
Well, the last World Championships
46.
was the first one in 12 years that Mark Walsh failed to qualify for. 11 successive years he made the Worlds and didn't really threaten to last year.
Well, it's all about having the right people around you that can identify things.
170.
But then saying that, sometimes you can have the right people around you that identify it, but you take no notice of them. So, you know, both sides of it, you slip down the rankings, and as we've just seen with Raoul John Rodriguez against Barry Bates, you know, these youngsters that are coming through, they don't care who you are. They're just going to get up and they're going to mull you if you get the chance.
Bullseye for Saylor, he's hit it once already.
99.
Not a million miles away this time around, but Walsh has got to give himself at least a dart. Don't miss any big numbers.
Well, yeah, will he have that in his mind? Well, no, he's going to get the 2 darts at double top this time to break the throw.
Oh my word.
30.
Yes, Walshy, we're having a little giggle about that one ourselves. It was a bit of a flyer.
Last dart in hand.
21.
Well, that was about as far away from the double 4 as Walsh's was at the double top.
I think what Mark did was he thought, if I'm going to miss it, I want to be on the top wire. That's not a bad guide. He might be able to find the double top from there, and does that, and he gives a little bit to the crowd.
Fourth leg is Mark to throw first.
Not often you see this from Mark Walsh. What's
no.
going on?
And if you want to get the crowd against you, then you just give him the ear roll.
Well. Mark Walsh taking a leaf out of the Roby John Rodriguez book of darts. It's only prompted them to start singing Germany, Germany again, but I doubt at any point they're going to start singing Hertfordshire, Hertfordshire, where Mark Walsh originates from.
100.
Kirk Bevan just having a rush across the in front of Thomas Saylor to make sure he called the right score. He shouldn't make many mistakes. Shouldn't countdown champion,
No.
countdown champion of champions. I'll still take him on as a crossword though.
Braver man than I.
Well, you probably wouldn't understand any of my words, but I can fill it up. I can fill it up.
60.
It doesn't count if you just like colour in the
I actually thought that's what. Oh no, I thought that's what it was.
We're colouring in, yeah.
Yeah, you have to like connect four. You know, different colours lines.
41.
Three consecutive breaks of throw
60.
we've had in this match so far. Mark Walsh has the advantage of throwing first here. You see those averages, I mean, it's nothing to write home about at all. This is better, though.
140.
Well, that's the time for Walshy to knock in a big one. Because he needs to hold on to his throw here. Take that two-leg lead. Although Thomas Saylor is going to have something to say about that.
140. Mark Huybrechts 135.
Well, he's right there with him. It'll be the bullseye to start with. Lovely.
You did mean the 25, but it just happened to go in the bullseye.
He wanted the treble 15.
90.
He's missed the big number again.
141.
It's going to cost him a dart at a double when he returns. So Roby John Rodriguez leave the 141 after 6 darts earlier on this afternoon. Will we see a 9-darter this weekend here in Dusseldorf? Tops for Walshy.
Chance gone a begging for Mark Walsh
44.
to get control of the game. And Thomas Saylor for the fourth break on the trot.
12.
He just seemed to rush that second dart. The third one, he took his time over. He wasn't a million miles away, but doesn't find the target. So Walsh now, double top.
Game shot on the fourth
Gets
leg.
its second dart, and Walsh decides to have a bit more fun with the crowd. I mean, he's a bold man.
Very bold.
Game on.
Mind you, he has got more hair than I've seen him for a long, long time.
He does. It's positively hirsute from Walshy. Not quite like Thomas Saylor, like silver quiff.
100.
Nothing wrong with a silver quiff.
On vogue in the world of darts.
Thank you.
Oh, Walshy's going, I wish I hadn't have said a word now, or the expression more than said a word.
125.
Well, now we're seeing, you know, the Mark Walsh, why he isn't still at the top. You know, he's got control of the game. This is where you just, as we call it, stay straight. You know, a couple of tons, 95 or 85 gets you down to the double, put the pressure on Thomas again. And
30.
but they really are trying to give this leg away.
Wow.
I better get my darts out. You better get your darts out.
Steady on.
Little wry smile there from Walshy. We've all been there, Mark. It don't matter how well you play.
60.
You have legs like this.
Well, 60's all right for Thomas Saylor in this situation. I mean, he's still 220 points ahead. Walshy cannot just find a big number. There's one.
42.
And it's going to get harder and harder for him the longer this goes on, because the crowd aren't going to let up at all.
The last thing you need is to hit a 180 now, and then Thomas Saylor goes out.
80. Thomas Uruguay, 86.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to... You actually, James Wade's very good at it. He just goes, OK, you can have this leg. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to stay focused and worry about the next leg. And, it works for James Wade. That's why James Wade very rarely has over 100 averages, you know, because he has so many legs in a game where he thinks he's so far behind. He doesn't want to hit a big score and ruin it for the next one, the next leg. So
and there's no logic to that, but
no.
there is. But you know, you do see his intensity levels go up and down, and it does mean that when he really, really needs to concentrate and bring the best out of himself, he often does. That's why he's a multiple major champion. I wouldn't be surprised if he bust it. Yes, that's exactly what he's done here, Thomas Saylor, with Walshy back on 180. Now, had Walshy just scored an extra 20-odd points, Saylor would have probably been forced to go for that, and it would have a very different complexion this leg had he not hit the double with that third dart.
Thomas Uruguay, 40.
As it is, he's got 3 clear ones at tops.
And
he only needs the one, and there's almost an apologetic sigh from Thomas Saylor as he gets that leg on the board.
well, now Walshy's got to do a James Wade. OK, that was rubbish. Just step up here. A nice straight ton or a 140 or even a 180.
140.
See, with the James Wade scenario, he would have hated to go and hit a 140 and then wasted it or a 180. He wants to kick off the next leg, and that's exactly what Walshy's done.
140.
Saylor right there with him, though. Good response from the German. A couple of weeks ago was the first time we saw a German through to the final day of action on the European Tour. That was Max Hopp, who made the last 16. Didn't make it through qualifying last night, young Max Hopp. Beaten comprehensively by Christian Surter, we've already seen in action today. He was unable to get past Johnny Haynes, the punk.
41.
Jihan Artut is Germany's top player in action today, although he has a very tough draw taking on Stephen Bunting. That'll be this evening.
100.
So you might be looking at it and thinking Thomas Saylor's probably got the best chance of the 5 host nation qualifiers of making it through to the second day here in Dusseldorf. As it is, he's struggling a little bit.
80.
Yes, frustration is setting in for both players. Sometimes it's just as hard to play in front of your home crowd, or even harder when they're cheering for you than cheering against you. Sometimes the noise...
100.
The only thing that really takes you out of concentration is them high-pitched whistles. You know, the general hubbub and cheering and whatever, and most players can get on with it, but that is that high-pitched whistle that can really affect you.
45. Mark you require 80.
Well, he messed this up in leg 1.
Game shot the sixth leg.
He's got the basics right there. He's not missed the big numbers. He gives himself a dart at double top and he takes it out. So it's 4-2.
I mean, we talked about that Grand Slam when he made the semi-final. He was unlucky not to make the final.
140.
I mean, he was tough to beat in them days. He was really tough. He may not have thrown, I think you mentioned it earlier, many 11 dart legs or 12 dart legs, but certainly didn't use many more than 15.
108.
Oh, there we go. Kicks off 180. That's the first one of the match. And it's on the Saylor throw.
Yeah, you can see the release. He's done that a few times, as Thomas.
36.
There's no surprise that's happened straight after a Walshy 180 on the Sailor throw. It's the pressure. He's coming under pressure. The arm tightens up. He doesn't release it properly, and that's why he's yanked it into the one there.
That's what I said earlier on about the brain telling the hand that this is not right, so the hand overcompensates, and you know you just lose all the rhythm on it.
And you see a couple of extra 131 plus scores, although this would be one from Sailor, you would think.
139.
But the overall average, I mean, 75 is not going to win you many games. 83 won, but it's enough at the moment, and that's all that Mark Walsh cares about.
140.
140. This is actually best leg of the match from Walshy.
Yes, very good leg here from Mark Walsh. We can see that dart again. It's just coming off the index finger wrong.
85. Mark Huybrechts, 81.
The extension on the length of the follow through is not there. It's very short, and that's what causes that. And he's got to go 12 bullseye. Didn't even attempt to go for the treble. Didn't
40.
really attempt to go for the bullseye.
Thomas Huybrechts, 101.
It could be worse. He's left himself 41, but Thomas Sailor, 101 he's looking at. Treble 19. For double 12.
89. Mark Huybrechts, 41.
Well, he gave himself a chance.
Well, this is where the game's in the palm of Mark Walsh's hand. You know, you've got 2 darts of double top to go, 1 leg away from a win. You mustn't miss it, and he hasn't. That's a good solid. I mean, he took out 80 the previous leg, and he's just taken out the double top cleanly there. And now he should not let this go.
Apart from that one dart, which I think air traffic control might have had to give clearance to when he's going for double top, and it was about a foot higher than where it was supposed
60.
to be. He's been there or thereabouts around double top. If he's missed, he's just been above. He's taken it out again there. He's hit it 4 times in this match. That's a good sign for Mark Walsh.
60.
The thing about it, if you know, taking your doubles out cleanly, you can actually not score as well.
Just steal the odd leg here and there.
That's exactly right. And then you're putting your pressure on your opponent because your opponent's going to go, oh, he's nicked it again. He's not missing doubles. So they're even more pressure thinking, well, I've got to score even heavier, so I don't give him a chance at a double.
Sailor's got to do something special here. He's got to win 4 straight legs. That's not a bad start.
He's been a lot more consistent the last 3 legs as Mark Walsh.
$99.
The other 3 Germans in the first round draw will be on the way this evening. Mike Langendorf, Jihan Artut and Michael Rosenauer. It is looking increasingly
43.
like it's going to be 0 for 2 for the Germans, although Sailor's given himself a chance in this leg. Need to win this and the next 3.
$79.
Needs to find the treble, which he does, so that puts the pressure on. Now, Thomas Sailor's going to have to go for the 18s with that first dart. Now the treble 20 will leave him the bullseye. So Mark Walsh is going to step up.
92. Mark Huybrechts, 98.
Well, he's set it up nicely as Sailor. Walsh, 98, treble 20. Straight at the double 19 for the match. That's always the danger.
82. Thomas Huybrechts, 36.
It's double 18 to stay in it. Thomas Sailor for 5-3. Double 9.
18. Mark
And that
Huybrechts,
may be
16.
that for Thomas Sailor. Walshy, 3 clear darts, a double 8 for 6-2. And he gets it.
And the match.
It wasn't
Mark
pretty,
Walsh.
But Mark Walsh overcomes a potentially tricky opening round. He is through for the first time this year. Berg, a 21-year-old from Belgium who is not short of confidence, as a little dance move would tell you. Taking on a former world champion, the Lakeside winner, Christian Kiss, the lipstick. Dan Dawson in the commentary box for this one. Rob Malarkey alongside me.
Yeah, looking forward to this. I mean, we've seen plenty of Kist, as you say, former Lakeside champion, and really caught the eye as well last year late on. He was beaten 6-5 by the eventual winner Gary Anderson at the Players' Championship finals in November, but he gave Anderson a really good run for his money that day. But the less said about his visit to Riesa last time out, the better, because he was absolutely slaughtered by Robert Marjanovic 6-0. So he'll be looking to put in a much improved display this time around. Did well last year here as well. Lost narrowly to James Wade in the first round, 6-5. And Kist may just have too much for Dimitri Van den Bergh. Like you say, not short on confidence. Just 21 years of age. And an intriguing match in store in this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, first leg, Dimitri
Netherlands against Belgium.
Game on!
But it's Van den Bergh who has the slight advantage of throwing first.
Well, he's always a confident lad, is Dimitri Van den Bergh, but he should be especially confident following his results last night in the European qualifiers. He played 3 games, he only dropped a single leg. He beat Michel Menton 6-0, Gino Voss 6-1, and then took out Jan Dekker 6-0.
Well, the Dekker result in particular catches the eye there.
100.
Last saw Van den Bergh in European circles in Venray at the Dutch Darts Masters. He was a first-round loser 60. There at the hands of David Pallets. Did make the second round in Gibraltar, though. Narrowly lost to Kim Huybrechts that day, 6-5. Real flip of a coin job, that one. Could have gone either way. And the winner of this one will face Robert Thornton in the second round tomorrow.
Now then, Dimitri Van den Bergh. This would be very handy. That will do nicely. Leaves him on tops for a 13-dart leg and a holder throw.
Very nicely done indeed.
134.
Kist doing his best to try and hang on to the coattails of Van den Bergh on his throw, admittedly, in this opening leg, but he takes it out nevertheless. Double tops for a one-leg lead.
Picking up very much where he left off last night in the qualifiers.
Yeah, he's got that momentum clearly. Kist also coming through qualifying the European qualifiers, one of the 8 European qualifiers last night, along with Dimitri Van den Bergh.
Yeah, so of Andy Bless and Antonio Alcinas, 6-2 and 6-3 respectively. So relatively trouble-free passage through to this tournament for Christian Kist.
It's been a good session so far for the European qualifiers. Jelle Klaassen is through. Rabi John Rodriguez is through. Later we'll see Mensur Suljovic. And there's another maximum from Van den Bergh. Could well see more of him later on this weekend. Clearly has the bit between his teeth here.
Now, how about another?
140.
Ton 40 gets him down to a 2-dart finish, potentially 11-dart leg after a 13-darter to kick things off on Dimitri Van den Bergh, and he is on fire right now.
140. Dimitri, you require 100.
Well, Kist will have had his backers for this one, no doubt about it, but they'll be twitching nervously at this opening.
84.
Russ Bray having a good look at that one.
104. 88. Dimitri requires 16.
Double 8 then for an early break. And a brace of 13 darters.
Game shot.
And that's exactly what he's got.
Dimitri Van den Bergh. Third leg, Dimitri to throw first. Game on.
Very, very confident start by Van den Bergh, and scoreboard psychology. Well, he could be 3-0 up if he holds here.
58. 60.
Jelle Klaassen with a standout performance so far. Average just over 100. You can see the averages from Dimitri Vandenberg, very early days.
81.
And that'll drag it down a little bit, just under the 107. Better from Kiss, though.
140.
Dimitri Vandenberg has had success on the Challenge Tour and the Youth Tour, Development Tour as it's called now. He won 3 Youth Tour titles last year to finish top of the Order of Merit in the Youth Tour. That's what got him a tour card this year, is Kist. Misses out on a maximum. But he's won the most recent Youth Tour this year, or Development Tour, I should give it its proper title.
77.
Yet to make the step up and do it on the Senior Tour. Yet to make a quarter-final, in fact, in a senior event.
100.
But
make sure you require 151.
If he carries on playing like he has done in the opening couple of legs here, and in the qualifiers last night, he'll give himself a chance. That doesn't help him at all, though.
83.
To Christian Kiss for a break back. Should get at least one dart at a double. Tops it is. And tops he gets. 15 darter. Christian Kiss back in this one.
Yeah, you can see what it means. He needed that just to get a leg on the scoreboard and the break of throw as well. And we are back on serve at 2-1 for Vandenberg.
100.
Kiss backers breathing a little bit easier now.
We've seen little bits from Christian Kiss since his move to the PDC. I mean, obviously, you won the Lakeside, and you don't win that if you're a mug. He's made a semi-final and a quarter-final this year on the tour.
97.
Yet to go beyond a semi-final in a PDC event. But, I mean, since he won 100 grand for winning the Lakeside. That was in 2012. Made the move to the PDC. He's won 80 grand since then, and that includes a quarter of that has come from runs at the Grand Slam. So he's not exactly torn the PDC apart. I mean, he's not done what, say, Stephen Bunting has done. I mean, it's quite exceptional what Stephen Bunting has done.
Require 164.
Looks to be pushing into the top 16 this year, Stephen Bunting. But he's relatively well positioned. Just outside the top 32 is Christian Kiss. Now needs to take that next step.
Yeah, there are signs that his day could still come.
59.
And sometimes, like with anything, other players make the transition quicker than others.
It's not always easy. I mean, Alan Norris is here this weekend.
Tops though for a 2-2 scoreline.
42.
Wow.
A lot of people are saying Alan Norris is going to come and terrify some people in the PDC. I mean, I think this is only his second European Tour he's qualified for.
That's correct.
Does take a little while to get acclimatised. Christian Kiss looks to level the match up. Ooh, a nasty one. Now is it 3 for double 16? It is.
8 score.
Chance. For Dimitri Vandenberg.
111.
Well, Kiss will be kicking himself if Vandenberg takes this leg. He was very much in control. That's a lovely first start. Vandenberg to steal. Oh my word.
Dimitri Vandenberg.
A little signal to the crowd there. And Kiss is kicking himself.
Game on.
Well, that was a gilt-edged opportunity to level things up. Just wasn't ruthless enough there, and Vandenberg re-establishes a 2-leg lead.
$55. 60.
One game left in this afternoon's session, and it sees a former Premier League star and two-time major finalist Wes Newton
91.
taking on Gerwyn Price, the muscle-bound former rugby player who'll be making his debut at the match play next week.
125.
Having made some exceptional strides since joining the PDC.
96.
There we have it, first 180 for Christian Kist.
180.
Well, we've had 3 successive breaks of throw. We could be in for a 4th here after that maximum for Kist.
64. Christian require 136.
Oh, lovely. 316 in 6 darts.
120.
Not to be.
Well, he surely won't throw this away.
Yeah, 519s leaves him 100.
Christian requires
And Christian
60.
Kist wants double eights. And it is a 4th consecutive break of throw. Christian Kist back in this and throwing to level the match at 3 apiece.
Well, he's 3-2 down, but he could so easily have been 3-2 up. Christian Kist, but as you say, 4 successive breaks of throw now.
100.
Very difficult match to call at the stars of this one.
140.
But I'm sticking with Kist as my selection here.
$135.
Going toe-to-toe in leg 6 as well. Oh, Dimitri van den Berg filling up that bed there. It's exquisite stuff from the young Belgian.
4 maximums in the match, 3 of them.
99.
The young Belgian. And it gives him a very, very good chance. A very good chance indeed. Look at this.
135.
Well, this might have to go.
167.
It might have to go, Christian. It could go.
Well,
136.
what a steal that would have been.
46.
Just sows 1 or 2 seeds of doubt here. Van den Berg, double 16. No problem at all for the young Belgian.
Seventh leg,
That could have been a killer sucker punch had Kist managed to pull off that 167 checkout. Wasn't to be. Van den Berg made sure. Leads 4-2.
Well, an 11 darter from Dimitri van den Berg there. And he still had to survive a dart at the bullseye from Christian Kist.
Is that a 5th successive break now?
Yes, it is.
Astonishing. Well, if Van den Berg can hold here, he'll be in a terrific position to book his place in round 2 and set up a meeting with Bob Thornton tomorrow. And that's a good start from Van den Berg.
59.
Not such a great start from Kist. Perfect checkout stats for Van den Berg today.
140.
An average of over a ton as well. 4 maximums to boot. All in all, not a bad session so far. Still work to do though.
134.
It's been the standout game this afternoon in terms of quality so far from these two.
133.
Consolidates that average above the 100.
Yeah, such is the nature of the draw as well. It's a shame that one of these two has to bow out at this stage.
84. Dimitri require 106.
He's got 6 darts from here for a holder throw. 18s he's looking at.
50.
Well, he should get 2 darts when he returns at double top for a 5-2 lead. Christian Kist going to be there waiting. They're waiting. A second maximum for the Dutchman, but it might mean absolutely nothing in this leg. Van den Berg. Oh, he's only going to get 1 dart. He's missed the big number. He only needs 1 dart.
Dimitri van den Berg, 8 leg.
Yeah, rare holder throw there for Van den Berg, and it's come at the most perfect time. He is 1 leg away from a place in the second round here. at the Maritime Hotel in Dusseldorf. 1 dart needed for double 16, and he took it out stylishly. Looking to get out of the blocks quickly here as well.
95.
Not so.
Dimitri Vandenberg, there you see, 5 out of 5 on the doubles. Phenomenal finishing from the young Belgian. Absolutely world class. There's 111 checkout in there as well, and that was under pressure to steal away the 4th leg. You can see that's the only one that's gone longer than 5 visits to the board. 11 darter in there as well. Great standard from these two.
100.
But it's the younger man who is on the verge of knocking out the former world champion. However, Kist very handily placed in this leg. Those averages. Christian Kist, 103 average. He's losing 5-2.
96. Christian require 121.
He can't finish now, but he can set it up.
85.
Which is what he does do. Leaves himself double 18. Now, 170 would look good here. Oh, interesting switch.
101.
Christian Kist to pull 1 leg back.
Double 9 is always awkward.
Game show.
Not so for Kist on this occasion. 5-2 becomes 5-3.
Game on.
But Vandenberg with the throw in what could well be the last leg of the match. Could well be the last leg of the match if he gets out the blocks quickly here. Just the tongue 40 in the end. That'll do for Vandenberg. Creeps the average, or keeps the average around 101. The first 9 average still very, very healthy indeed. Kiss not too shabby either. But he's on the brink of an exit here.
81. 100.
That 111 checkout from Vandenberg in the 4th leg, absolutely crucial. Oh, could it be another? Loads of room. Oh, he's unlucky there. Very unlucky. But unless Christian Kist fills this up, unless he fills it up...
It's wobbly.
Well, he came down, so he didn't want to dislodge that second dart, but he needed the treble 19. As it is, Dimitri Vandenberg has got 6 darts from 155 for a 6-3 win, a superb 6-3 win. He might do it in 3 darts. Well, he won't.
123.
Yeah, treble 16 there would have left the bull. As it is, he will come back for double 16.
58.
3 match darts for Dimitri Vandenberg to round it off with a 13 darter. Like he won the first 2 legs, well, he's missed a dart at double. Make a note of it. I haven't done that a great deal today. It's the first time. Ooh, and another. But not the last one. Dimitri Vandenberg, a superb display from a 21-year-old. He sees off the former world champion. A 6-3 win. And he will join his countryman Kim Huybrechts in the 2nd round.
Final match of the afternoon session, featuring a 2-time major finalist and a man who's won a European Tour event in the past. It's Wes Newton, winner of the European Darts Trophy in 2013. But a tough-looking assignment for Wes today. He's up against a man who reached the quarter-finals in Gibraltar earlier this year, when he lost 6-5 to Jamie Price, but a man who has made a big impression in 2015 so far. And Rod Harrington, this will be a very difficult one to call.
It certainly will. I think possibly you may have this guy, Gerwyn Price, the favourite. If you look at the form line coming into this, Wes is another one of those players that we talk about, these players so often, about that was up there, you know, with the best of them and really hacking it and earned himself a lot of money, and now not so good. He's going off the boil. And when you're hovering around that area, it's always the extra pressure. And of course, Gerwyn Price is on the up, so no pressure on him, no scar tissue at all. And could be a close matchup.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it could well be. Good way to round things off. It's been a Interesting opening session, some highlights, some obvious highlights in this morning session so far today. That last match between Kirsten Vandenberg was high quality at times. The performance of Jelle Klaassen catching the eye in his 6-3 win over Eddie Dutz, and Rabi John Rodriguez, though, with the most emphatic win of the morning so far, the afternoon I should say so far, beating Barry Bates by 6 legs to 1.
The interesting thing about those previous games is the 2 best performances has come from the 2 youngsters.
Yeah.
You know, there's
Vandenberg in particular.
Yes, I mean, he played brilliant. Apparently last night he was exceptional.
1 leg he drops all night. 3 qualifiers, he lost 1 leg.
You know, the future is rosy for these guys as long as they stay focused.
Yeah, keep a level head. And Vandenberg looks to be the sort of guy, just from, you know, seeing how he conducts himself around the hotel, around the arena, he looks to be a guy that puts himself about in the right way.
81.
You know, let's be honest, at their age, it is difficult to stay on, you know, focused.
Yeah, there's lots of distractions out there.
Lots of distractions.
100.
Well, as we said, this was going to be a tough game, probably one of the hardest first-round games. And something that Wes Newton could have just done with an easy. I know there's no very easy games in this matches in this game now, but he could have done with an easier first round.
Yeah. Well, we made the point in commentary that it was a shame that Kirst came up against Vandenberg. You know, okay, you can only beat or play what's put in front of you, but Kirst would have come through against lesser opposition than a player who's clearly in form and a player who's on an upward curve at the moment in Vandenberg. So much to like about Vandenberg there, though. An average of 99.97. 75% on his checkouts as well. But here's Wes Newton with a chance to steal the throw. 6-6 it is. Nicely done from Wes. Early break.
Yes, and Gerwyn Price will feel that he shouldn't have given that break away. Missed a big number that cost him a dart at a double. And this is where Wes has now got to push on. And again, I said it in one of the earlier matches, you normally find a Mark Webster match where they normally go 2 or 3 legs really good, they then go off the board and let their opponents back in. Gerwyn Price looks in the first maximum of the match.
Yeah, the familiar sound of the voice, Russ Bray calling that one.
96.
Winner of this, by the way, will face Mervyn King tomorrow in round 2.
43.
And we have 8 more ties to look forward to in the evening session from 7 o'clock local time tonight.
94.
Well, Wes Newton needs to find a treble. So it should give him a dart at the double top, or 2 at 12s if Gerwyn doesn't take this out. But now Gerwyn's looking at treble 13. The big 18 for him now sets 91. It up. So a chance here for Newton to hold on to his throw and go 2-0 up.
20 for tops then for a 2-0 lead.
And
again, Wes Newton is ruthless on the doubles.
Third leg, Gerwyn to throw first.
As I said, a man who has had success on the European Tour in the past. But this year, well, it's not been a great deal to write home about. He did reach the last 16 of the German Darts Masters in Munich at the Easter weekend. He eventually went out at the hands of A.D. Lewis, losing 6-5. That could have gone Newton's way. But then he was beaten in the first round in Van Rij by Dutchman Jerry Hendricks. Had an awful first round defeat in Gibraltar as well against Van der Paas, 6-0. As I say, Price, though, his highlight coming in Gibraltar, reaching the last 8. Lost 6-5 to Max Hopp in the first round in Van Rij. So a mixed bag as far as he's concerned, but there's plenty to like about Gerwyn Price. But on his day, Wes Newton, if things go his way, if it all clicks,
57.
he's as tough a first-round opponent as you could wish for. But Price looking to get back into it here. And doing so.
Well, when we talk about setting the shot up from around 200, it doesn't come any better than that. It is on his throw, though.
Going to require 44.
He missed a big number in his first leg. He hasn't done this time, so he is going to get 2 darts at double top. He needs one at 10s.
34.
Now it's your different. If he doesn't take this out, just leave yourself a double, because the double 5, as we know, like the double 9, is not a good one. I'd stay there. I would have stayed there.
And now he's missed the treble 14 anyway. So yeah, it's a squandered opportunity, isn't it?
Yes, that first dart looked so good in the treble 20.
But as you say, the double 5 is awkward at the best of times. Double 2 it is then.
8 score.
And Newton lives to fight another day here. Could easily open up a 3-0 lead. And he's halfway there if he does. He too now chasing around the board. Double 10. And this one is just inside the wire. And Newton steals it. Got away with it there to some extent, Newton.
Well, yes, legs 1 and 3. Price threw first in. Had darts to the double first. So now, this is where Wes has got to push on. Do not let your opponent back in this match.
51.
Right in the middle of the bed. There's plenty of room either side here for him. Oh, and he's filled it up very nicely indeed. A 140 followed by a 180 for Newton in his fourth leg.
83.
Why does it hit the all-important 1 treble? You should not let this leg go from here.
45.
Well, especially not now, because Price has once again failed to find the treble. He's stranded on 280. Newton, though, could have done with a better dart than that. He's recovered all well. It's double 18.
62.
He still has that drift into the 5, doesn't he? And you can see the way the dart really leans over to the left as well. As you go forward into this tournament, or any tournament, you know, they're the ones that are going to cost you the match. Well, they cost you the legs and they cost you the match.
Now, double 9 again, as we know, can be awkward, but it's not awkward for Newton here.
Where's Newton, 5th leg going to throw first?
Well, Wes on this evidence looks to be back in business. Not there yet, but certainly in a very, very good position.
Well, there's the averages. Nothing really to write home about. But as we say so often, first round matches just get over the line, to be quite honest. Yep. Certainly Wes Newton will be more than happy to get over the line. Just get back on a run.
100.
Yeah, there's not a great deal of difference between the first 9 average especially. It's just the tail end of business. Gerwyn Price, 0 from 5 on his doubles.
59.
4 from 9 for Newton. That's more than enough at the moment. There you are. That is the endorsement of what I've just said.
81.
Well, legs 2 and 4. Pretty good. I mean, he's nicked 1 and 3.
100.
But 2 and 4 on his own throw, so he's been solid on his own throw. And that's exactly what you've got to do. Nick a leg, but do not give your leg away easily. You're making it so hard, as far as ever maximum, you're making it so hard for your opponent. You put an extra pressure on it.
59.
Well, Price's hand has been forced here.
Game short of 5th
And
leg.
it's looking very, very good indeed now for Wes Newton.
West to throw first. Game on.
Could be on for our first whitewash of the day here in Dusseldorf. Wouldn't have predicted it coming in this match.
Certainly not. I
Either.
mean, on the form, Rob, you actually had Gerwyn Price edging the favourite. reputation, obviously, Wes Newton would have been the favourite, but Newton's done a good job taking his chances.
Always value to be had if you know where to look, if you're having a punt on this tournament, whether it's individual match betting or 180s betting or all the other markets that are available. Are you still going for the 9-dart finish, Rod? May as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Why change the habit of a season?
140.
We've been close.
I think it's one of those like red or black. Just keep backing red because it's going to come up in the end. So keep doubling your stake each tournament. And you may go broke before it happens, but never mind. We'll get value at the end.
When it does happen, you can bask in the glory
96.
before the bailiffs come.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe it's not. I mean, we're having them on tour events, challenge tour events, youth events. We're just not having them as Wes Newton sets it up absolutely perfect. Yeah, good. This is a good, solid performance from Wes. That's exactly what he needed to. 95 average, 50% on his doubles.
46. Wes require 40.
Another 13 dart legs, second one on the trot.
Or maybe 14, either way. Oh, maybe 15.
20.
Well, he should be back. Well, he will be back. Going on a bogey number here, 159. Can't check out on that.
43. Wes should require 20.
So, a whitewash for Wes Newton. And there it is. Surprise, surprise, Gerwyn Price had his credentials and will have had his backers for this one, but it's not to be for the Iceman. Not the coolest of customers today. Just couldn't have any answers to the questions posed by Wes Newton. And it's the former European Tour winner who goes through to the second round to meet Mervyn King tomorrow. A terrific performance from him, getting the job done.
That was a good start in the tournament.
Yeah, it's a good start. Gerwyn's been playing really well. He's qualified for the match play, so it's a tough game. He missed a lot of doubles really early on, so it doesn't matter to me. I take my chances, which is the name of the game. So yeah, I'm happy. I'd like to thank him.
It's actually the same drama now, like in Munich, where you reach the third round. You know, playing Mervyn King again.
Yeah, it's another tough game. You know, Mervyn's a really good player. It's going to be another tough game, but you know, I've had a tough year. It's about me now, and I've got to turn the corner. I've got to start winning. So yeah, bring on the next game.
Good to see you tomorrow again. Thank you, Wes. Wes Newton.
Hotel in Dusseldorf for the European Darts Open. We've had 8 games this afternoon. We've got 8 more for you this evening. 16 guys looking to make the second round of the 6th European Tour event of 2015. And I hope they've reinforced the stage because it's the Pie Man versus Chuck Norris. Dainty, these two are not. They are some serious dart players though. Alan Norris, the former Lakeside World finalist. The Pie Man, a man who's won 6 Pro Tour titles with the PDC. And we've got some big names on the way for you this evening as well. Mensur Suljovic, a 3-time semi-finalist on the European Tour. Got Big John Henderson, who made the final in Munich just a few weeks ago. Devon Peterson, familiar face and some familiar dance moves on the PDC circuit. Stephen Bunting, former Lakeside World Champion. He's on the way against Jihan Artuk, the German. It will be noisy for that one. Dirk van Duijvenbode versus Leo Hendricks is an all-Dutch affair. And then we round off the first round action tonight with Jamie Lewis, another former finalist on the European Tour, taking on Michael Rosenauer, another of the host nation qualifiers. But we start with these two, the Pie Man versus Chuck Norris. I'm Dan Dawson in the commentary box for this one, and alongside me is Rod Harrington.
First leg is Andy to throw.
Yes, good evening, Dan. Good
Game
evening,
on.
everyone. Well, this is Battle of the Big Men, I think we're going to call this one. Battle of the Linebackers. And I think Norris would be the favourite, but the Pie Man, well, we've seen him over the years throw some exceptional darts.
60.
And there'll be no gamesmanship in this one. I don't think these two know what gamesmanship is all about, do they? They wouldn't come anything like that. But
140.
looking forward to a close game, though. I think there's going to be plenty of legs in this game.
Yeah, this is their first meeting. Obviously, Alan Norris only making the move over to the PDC this year. Stormed through Q School on the opening day for a 9-darter along the way as well. fair to say it's perhaps not gone according to plan since then for him, but it does take time to acclimatise. And he's fired in a couple of 140s to start the match.
I think you're exactly right, Dan. You know, Stephen Bunting come over and made inroads straight away. So did Barney, to be quite honest. But everybody else have struggled. We see Smithy, 180. Yeah, I think normally a year, and then they start to settle down, get to know the people. You know, instead of them being on the outside, now they're on the inside. They're in with the families, we call it, and they start to get along with everybody, and then they can settle down and play the right darts. There's no question this Norris is a class player.
Oh yeah, well, I mean we've seen him throw very good. I mean, you don't throw a 9 dart on your first day of Q school without being, you know, a half decent player. And that run to the final of the Lakeside, where he was beaten by Stephen Bunting. I mean, there were some phenomenal performances along the way there.
125.
Always the way. You want a 25 and you hit the bullseye. The funny thing is, you actually look at the bullseye. You don't look at the 25 because the red bit just takes over that vision.
60.
Just the 60 from the pie man. So Alan Norris looking for an early break of throw. Double 4 he wants. And double 4 he gets. 15 darter.
Second leg is Alan to throw first. Game on.
Well, this afternoon's performances, Dan, I think have to go down to the youngsters. Dimitri.
Yeah, he was superb.
Rodriguez.
Yeah. Jelle Clausen was very good as well, to be fair. But yeah, certainly Dimitri Vandenberg and Robert John Rodriguez put in superb displays. And Wes Newton, 6-0 versus Gerwyn Price.
Wow.
Maybe he's back.
You would have lost your house on that one.
100.
I mean, I expect that one to be a close one. I think the form line said that Gerwyn was actually just the favourite. But it's good to see Wes throw some good darts again. He's had a bit of a lean period.
Yeah, just a selection of the names through to the second round. That's when the 16 seeded players join the tournament, the likes of world #1 Michael van Gerwen, the defending champion here, Peter Wright.
55.
And Ian White, the #8 seed, who awaits the winner of this match here.
And that's a toughie, whoever wins this, because Ian White's playing
84.
extremely well at the moment.
Yeah, made a final in Wigan the other day.
I hope I'm wrong, but you can't put Ian White in the Terry Jenkins category, that sort of player
140.
that may not ever win a major.
Yeah. I mean, he's just inside the top 10 in the world now, Ian White, and that means that you're a threat. You meet anybody. I mean, we saw a couple of weeks ago in Risa, I mean, he put in an incredible display to knock out Stephen Bunting. It was 6-5, and there was something like 8 180s between the pair of them in the last 4 legs. As the pie man, well, fill it up, why not? Leaves you double 13, but will make it a little bit noisy in here for Alan Norris as he looks at 100. Oh, it might not matter. Good marker. Doesn't matter at all. What a 6 darts you've seen from those two there.
Yeah, I like that from Andy Smith. You know, puts in the 180 to cause a little bit of a stir in the crowd. You know, just hoping that it maybe have put Norris off, but Norris didn't. Well, as if he didn't hear anything, just stepped up. That was a good clean kill. And now he leads 2-0, and Smithy has got some work on here because Norris looks pretty good. Rhythm is good as them 3 darts through.
Well, look, Alan Norris, we said, he is a serious player. If he gets on a roll, he can be very, very difficult to stop.
100.
He is ranked down at 80 in the world, but, you know, obviously he hasn't been in the PDC very long. He's only going up at the minute. Maybe a weekend like this could be the springboard he needs to catapult himself on to greater things. When Stephen Bunting, we've already mentioned, made the move to the PDC, it helped that he won his 2nd tournament. I mean, talk about hitting the ground running. Alan Norris hasn't had that. He didn't even qualify for the opening European Tour events of the year. He made his debut
60.
in Venray. Ended up losing in the first round.
Yeah, I have to say, I thought that he would have been a lot further up than that, as we see him fire another 180. And certainly, he is taking the game to Andy Smith. You know, saying, Dan, I expected him to be around the 40 mark by now, to be quite honest. But like we said earlier on, you know, it takes a little bit of a time. Sometimes you expect too much out of yourself, and that puts you on the back foot a bit. But,
125.
Well, he has qualified for the next 2 European Tour events as well, so plenty of opportunities to move up the rankings for Alan Norris, and that's another good marker.
21.
Doesn't use it, and there's just a sniff of a chance here for Andy Smith. He does like double 18, so if he hits a 20 and a treble 20, he needs the treble though. Doesn't get it. So Norris will be coming back, looking at 3-0 with 2.
He's got to be careful here as well, Dan, because he could hit the flights here and bounce
60.
over. No, he's gone for the left-hand side. Sometimes just a big 20 is just as good there. Well, Norris don't want to go inside this. Well, that's a perfect marker for Alan Norris. Well, oh dear. Rushed that one a little
15.
bit and rushed that. So, although it is with his throw, this could get Andy Smith back in this game. He was staring 3-0 in the face.
2 darts at tops for the Pie Man.
Mm. 16. Alan, you require 5.
Well, the Pie Man is in serious trouble if Norris takes out the double 2 here, which he does. 3-0 down, the Pie Man.
Fourth leg is Alan to throw first. Game on.
Yeah. Andy Smith in a lot of trouble now. He's 2 breaks down. On the way Norris is playing. A little bit of hiccup on the doubles there, but Andy Smith didn't take advantage of it.
And he gave himself the opportunities of those 2 maximums in that leg. And there you see, 125 first 9 average. I know, we're only 3 legs into this, but that is a man
60.
who is scoring well. Despite those missed doubles, his average is getting up towards that 100 mark.
50.
Even when he's missing, he's not missing by much.
Smith just can't find the treble.
You see
Like Stuart Kellett this afternoon, when he was finding that it was only just the 1 treble. And the way
57.
Norris is playing, he's got to start putting 2 trebles in. Another visit without a treble from Smith. And this could mean trouble. Norris needs... Oh, and that's perfect. Surely he's going to find at least 1 more treble with that.
140.
Yeah, we've only been on stage less than 10 minutes, and already Andy Smith is in all sorts of trouble.
44.
Wes Newton produced a whitewash victory in the final game of the afternoon session. Alan Norris may be thinking about one here already.
80.
Oh, that'll do very nicely.
Very nicely indeed. I was just about to say again, just a big 20 will do him here. Doesn't want to get a deflection and go in a 1 or a 5, but that's confidence for you. Now all the other times he's gone for double top, he's put the first one right on the top wire, which is a brilliant guide if you're going to miss. Oh well, there we go. I'd bust it.
35.
Didn't look there, did he? You know, busting it was the ideal thing there. Sometimes you, like I say, you come back for the double top. I know it's next to the double 5, but all of a sudden, it could cause a problem.
It could if he finds a treble here, the Pie Man, and he has done. Doesn't make Norris think, but he did take this out in the last leg. Double 2. And he takes it out this leg as well. 4-0.
Fifth leg is Andy to throw first.
Yeah, no problem. That's when you know that his mind is in the right place. I know a lot of players that would have checked the score and busted that to come back for the tops and 10s.
45.
Well, already in this leg, the Pie Man is behind, and Norris is not taking his foot off the gas. A 3rd maximum for the man from Yeovil, and he is all over the Pie Man here.
Tons are not going to be enough for Andy Smith, and certainly an 81 isn't. So again, Smith is staring a breaker throw in the face.
96.
And he's picking the trebles off on the switches, Alan Norris. And there we have it, 3-1 on the 180s.
If it wasn't for those missed doubles, that average would be significantly higher. The overall one, the first 9, is pretty flawless, really.
100.
It's going up.
100.
That's the thing nowadays. You hit 100 and your average comes down.
Yes.
100.
Wow.
125.
This is on the pieman throw as well. Treble 20.
61.
One of the players who, when he's left 80, going for the treble 16 route. If you like the double 16, that's the way to go, but you don't go there if Andy Smith was on a finish. He wasn't, though. But he's going to be on one now. Yeah, 55 left, says Kurt Bevins. He should know.
Well, the way Norris is playing, Dan, you fancy to take this out.
64.
But he may only get 1 dart on the double. He is only going to get the 1 dart at the double. And he's missed it. So that percentage of going for that, it could have cost him the leg. And this is a leg. I know it's on Andy Smith's throw, but you only need that little bit of spark to get yourself back in the game.
Needs this. It's definitely not in, Pie. That is low. That is, though. And Andy the Pieman, he's still in there fighting. He's got a leg on the board.
59.
I know that, the checkouts are all personal preference.
Well, the weird thing is, he's left 8. He's gone for the treble 16 there. And then when he's got 64 left, he's gone for the treble 8 to go back to double top anyway. So it's not like he wants to leave double 16. His favourite is double top.
And he had 80 earlier on when he hit double top.
Strange, strange times. There you see the checkout statistics. I mean, they're not great for either player, but Alan Norris's scoring power is giving him more opportunities. Exhibit A. Well, the Pieman hitting back.
140. 120.
2 bullseyes.
That's the way to leave a finish. And if he takes that out, could be 3 bullseyes in the last 6 darts.
80.
Well, that's cost him into a finish there, the Pieman. So 6 darts from here. Treble 20.
Oh,
the
no,
double top. What a finish this would be.
Superb
stuff.
Unusual way to go with your first dart, to pick off the treble 14. Well, it doesn't matter. The combination is all the same. And that was a fine check out from Norris, and it's a good display of darts, especially the scoring power. When you're up there and you're thinking, right, I've got the scoring power, so I know if I lose a leg, someone nicks a leg, you know that you've got that scoring power. You're always going to give yourself chances, and that's where Norris is in the head at the moment.
Well, 30 points difference, pretty much, in the first 3 visits to the board. You can see, same number of tons and ton 40s, or 96 and 131s. And this will alter it a little. Well, there's another one in the maximum column for the Pieman, but it's still half of what Alan Norris has thrown at him, and it might be. I was going to say he might hit another, but he didn't follow up that first dart, but it looked pretty plumb. Alan Norris very much in charge of this match here, and looking good for a second round spot to face the number 8 seed Ian White, the Diamond.
44. And he requires 126.
Well, the Pieman shouldn't let this one go from here. He doesn't have to go for the... No, he's old school, Smithy. Doesn't need to go for the treble 19s. 4 19s would have left the bullseye. He looked across and noticed that Norris was probably 9 darts away. Just set it up.
86.
And that's exactly what he's done. Sensible play from Andy Smith.
100. And he requires 40.
So, tops for the Pieman to get another leg on the board. Now for 10s. Bust it. Nah, just
He
a
looked
double
at
five.
it. He looked at it. It went through his mind, Dan. He certainly thought, shall I bust it? Oh, no, we might as well have a go.
Is that the thought process? It's like, well, sensibly, I should bust it. Oh, never mind. I'll just have a go anyway.
Yeah.
140.
We almost criticised Norris earlier on for not thinking about it. The Pieman's had to think about it. They thought, I'll just hit it anyway.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Weighed up the pros and cons and then think, oh, just get it done.
45.
This is where Alan Norris will want to finish things off, though. Kicks off ton 40. The Pieman only 45. Norris the advantage of throw.
82.
Finds a treble. 1 per visit is all he needs from here.
Yeah, visits without even 2 trebles from the Pieman is not going to be enough. 120 plus these for Alan Norris. And plus all of those.
Well, that is his 5th maximum in just 8 legs, sorry. Very, very impressive from Chuck Norris.
140.
And they could be the last darts that Andy Smith flings here in Dusseldorf this weekend. Is that in the treble? I think it is. And that will do nicely. Alan Norris, 6-2, a 12-darter to finish things off, and a comprehensive victory. He wins his first game on the European Tour, and Chuck Norris, if he's playing like that, he could be a serious force this weekend. He's through to face the number 8 seed, Ian White. The Pieman dumped out at the earliest opportunity. We've got 7 more games coming for you this evening at the European Darts Open in Dusseldorf. What a start to the evening session. We've just seen Alan Norris, 5 180s and a 96 average in a 6-2 demolition of the Pieman. Can we see something to follow it? Mike De Decker against the gentle Mensur Suljovic. Mensur Mania is alive and well here in Dusseldorf, not least in the commentary box because Rob Malarkey's back alongside me.
Yes, well, my affinity with Suljovic goes all the way back to Hildesheim earlier this year, the first events of the European Tour 2015. He kicked off the campaign by reaching the semi-finals of the German Darts Championship. Hasn't quite hit those heights since then on the European circuit, but he's just one of those players that catches the eye, win or lose. He has his style, he's not to everyone's taste, but he is a very good and at times a very effective player, and he will just grind you down. Even if you're 5-2 up and cruising towards a 6-2 win, he will have something to say about it. Mike De Decker, on the other hand, is comparatively an unknown quantity, I should say, but he is increasingly turning heads with his success on the youth circuit. Has a couple of titles to his name, the Belgian national title for one, and also the curiously named British Teenage Youth Championship. We won't go into that now, but yeah, he's certainly proving to live up to his nickname, which is the real deal. Whether he'll be the real deal here in Dusseldorf remains to be seen, but Suljovic will have his followers and his backers.
Ladies and gentlemen, first leg is Mike to throw
And
first.
I, for one,
Game on.
am predicting an intriguing and perhaps a fairly lengthy battle ahead. There, I've said it.
Well, the winner of this one will face the number 4 seed, Michael Smith, the man who won
59.
the last European Tour event. Michael van Gerwen won the first 4 of this year, of course. Michael Smith beat Benito van der Pas in the final in Riesa a couple of weeks ago.
140.
Mensur has had some very good success on the European Tour. 3 times a semi-finalist, yet to make it
45.
to the showpiece on a Sunday night. Maybe this is the weekend.
Could be the weekend for the young guns to really make a big impression as well. We've seen, of course, John Rodriguez and Dimitri van den Berg go through. De Decker, part of that ilk, if you like, as well. Mind you, he's taken 6 starts to get down to 397. And maybe the big occasion's getting to the young man at the moment. Well, he recovered well with that treble 19. Signed a couple of big deals, the real deal of late. He's on the books of Red Dragon now, as well as SMC. I assume the Red Dragon darts not clearly evident there, but that's what I've been told.
140.
He has been put on board there. Now plays full-time on the PDC Pro Tour as well.
$85.
Well, a solid and far from spectacular opening leg, this one.
And ton 40 gets him back in this. He
140.
Well, there you go.
Mensur require 156.
This would be a killer. Dirk managed to drag himself back into the ascendancy in this leg. Left himself tops.
100. Mikey require 40.
The tops he wants.
Gets
the 10.
Yeah, the nerves could easily have been kicking in there as he was forced into double 10, but he picks it off very nicely indeed, holds his throw, and Mensur is a leg down.
130.
Great effort to come through the qualifiers last night from Mike Dirk. I mean, both these guys came through the European qualifiers because they're Austrian and Belgian. So you've got the host nation ones where there were 5 spots up for grabs for the German players, and then 8 spots up for grabs for the rest of Europe. Mensur saw off Colin Roloffs and Michael Rastovic. He only dropped 2 legs in those games. But Mike Dirk,
70.
He beat Ron the Bomb Muhlenkamp, Marius Powell, and Cristo Reyes, beaten 6-5. Now that is a scalp.
Yeah.
We know what Cristo can do.
That's the eye-catching result of the night there for Dirk anyway.
Already got 2 Belgians in the action tomorrow. Kim Huybrechts, of course, as one of the seeded players.
Kimmy and Dimmy.
And Dimmy, yes. Dimitri van den Berg, who was absolutely stunning this afternoon. Saw off Christian Kist. Very impressive display.
During the session interval as well, I saw Kist getting into a taxi as well, which was just a good illustration of how his day's gone. Straight off. No hanging around for him.
Ton 40 gets Mensur down to a finish, but a similar score from Dirk would apply some pressure.
$60. Mensur require 101.
And for the 15s, I think. Yeah, that's where he's looking for double 18, but doesn't get it.
62. Mikey require 122.
Strange old miss there from Mensur Suljovic, unlike him. And he may be made to pay. Look at this. Look at this from Mike Dirk. 122 checkout on double 7.
Third leg is Mike to throw first.
Well, Suljovic well and truly punished there.
Game on.
Devastating darts from Mike Dirk. Brilliant stuff. Well, any nerves, any tension he was feeling as he made his way down the steps onto the stage has certainly been wiped out now.
Oh, and here he goes.
125.
And we know what these young lads can do, obviously, but I mean, he's still playing the development tour as Mike Dirk. He actually beat Benito van der Pas in the final, one of them this year.
100.
He's made 3 semi-finals on the youth tour this year as well. Quarter-final on the challenge tour. So he's around and he's making strides,
58.
but taking a step up and doing it on the senior circuit, as Benito van der Pas has done, of course. Haven't seen him at the final a couple of weeks ago, and great run at the Worlds. The only man, of course, to beat Michael van Gerwen on the European Tour in 2015. It's one thing doing it with the rest of the kids. Doing it against somebody like Mensur Suljovic, different matter entirely. But in the early stages, he's getting the job done here, and that isn't bad either.
Well, he's certainly a hard worker by the sound of things, and he's got a very, very good throw on him as well. he's in a good position here to hold his throw and open up a 3-0 lead. And well, let's just hope he doesn't start counting his chickens too soon. As we say, Suljovic is a battler. He will fight his way back if given any encouragement to do so.
100.
84 required for Decker. Suljovic struggling to land a significant punch here. Nicely done, double 12 for a 3-0 lead.
On the third leg.
And there you go, there's your answer.
Fourth leg is Mensur to throw first.
Mike de Decker is looking very, very comfortable, very confident, very assured, and looking like a very, very good player. An average of 94.6.
99.
And 3 from 5 on his checkouts as well.
Yeah, well, the only 2 darts he's missed at the doubles were double top and double 10, and he hit the double 5 in the same visit.
Yeah.
So it's not really like he's offered any opportunities to Suljovic. Had that brilliant 122. Treble 18, treble 18, double 7. And Suljovic is shaking his head.
Doesn't like it. Twiddles his
140.
darts there. As is his weight.
And you see, Mensur yet to have a shot at a double. He should get one in this leg.
134.
De Decker's not far behind. Winner of this one, as I say, faces Michael Smith, the number 4 seed, the most recent winner on the European Tour. Picked up his 2nd European title back in Riesa.
98.
Having won the final one of last year.
100.
Well, Michael Smith, if he's watching this, will be well aware, or certainly will be given plenty to think about by de Decker should he get through this
60.
one. Maybe on a high after that win in Riesa, but who knows, could well be brought back down to earth by de Decker tomorrow should he get there. Still a long way to go in this one.
80. Mensur 104.
Now a chance here for Mensur to get on the scoreboard at long last. Double 12 to get on the scoreboard, and there it is. Nicely done.
Fifth leg is Mike to throw first. Game on.
Maybe that will just spur Mensur into life a bit. A 15 dart leg there. Gets a leg
59.
on the board. And now there's a real chance to attack the de Decker throw.
$45.
Fails to do so, though. Plenty of room there to work with. He's gone the other way.
81.
Suljovic could certainly do with 2 trebles here. There's one of them.
100.
And that's what he'll have to settle for there. Another sub 100 score might give Suljovic more encouragement here.
60.
And yeah, you saw the raised eyebrows there from de Decker. Suljovic might just be sensing an opportunity. Again, needs to find 2 or even at least 1 treble here.
60.
Fails to do so. Hence the shrug of the shoulders. Scratchy 5th leg, this one.
$96.
Well, Suljovic suffered a first-round exit in this tournament last year. He went down 6-5 to Michael Rosenauer, who is on the hockey later, by the way.
Yeah, he'll be in action the final match of this evening against Jamie Lewis, with the winner getting the chance to play Michael van Gerwen in the next round as de Decker looks to fill it up.
121.
1-2-1's all right, though. Leaves him 84, which he took out in leg 3, of course. Suljovic could be waiting, though. Ready to pounce. He could be.
One more of those would leave double eight.
180.
And he is.
Like 84.
Now then, he took out 84 earlier on. He wasn't under quite as much pressure as he is now. 14s. Bullseye he wants. And bullseye he gets. Mike de Decker.
Single leg is Mensur to throw first.
Superb display of finishing from the young Belgian.
Brilliant. Brilliant, absolutely cool as a
136.
cucumber there, de Decker. Suljovic looks a very, very strong favourite to take that leg. And 3-2 becomes all of a sudden 4-1.
137.
And that's just got de Decker's tail up once again here.
Oh, Mensur, I've been thinking he'd be thrown to level a match in this leg. Very different complexion this tie. Done 84 the easy way. Treble 20, double 12. Done 84 the hard way, going the bull route. There you see. Mensur's had one dart or double, he pinned it. Mike de Decker.
I'm querying that graphic there.
I think it might be right. I think he missed two at tops and then he took out the double 10. That's right, okay. In the very opening leg. My mistake earlier on saying he missed 20-10 and then hit the 5. But yeah, they're the only two darts he's missed. Very first leg.
100. Mensur require 135.
Missed a couple at double top, but it didn't matter because he pinned double 10 on the same visit.
Suljovic went for the ball there and ended up hitting the 2.
82.
Well, it's not a bad setup from Suljovic. Surely de Decker's not going to take this. Well, he's not. They did 2 treble 19s for a shot at the bullseye.
133.
Found them in the end.
Mensur require 53.
No margin for error here for Suljovic. Tops it is for a 4-2 deficit. That's nudged the wire. De Decker waiting in the wings
33.
with 31.
31.
7 double 12 is the potential. No, he's going the other way. Double 14 instead. Double 7 now.
17.
Reprieve for Suljovic.
Well, first time that he's had a visit where he's had a shot at a double and he has missed and allowed Suljovic back to the dartboard. Is he going to be punished for it? 5-1. I mean, I'm not sure there was a way back. Particularly with the Decker having the throw in the next leg. And Suljovic does make him pay. It's 4-2. He's still in there with a chance, but Mike de Decker just 2 holds a throw and this match is his.
41.
So missed doubles for de Decker in leg 6.
140.
Oh, he's stolen the darts here, Mensur Suljovic, and all of a sudden, when he was staring down the barrel of 5-1, he could be thrown and make it 4 all in the next leg. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. He has been in this position in a leg before and allowed de Decker to come back and grab the leg. But
he's done it often, hasn't he? You know, he fights, he just finds a way of salvaging situations that look fairly irretrievable.
60.
And bang on cue, he lands a very tame jab there of 60. Can de Decker punish him? Not really.
3 visits without a treble for Mike de Decker.
2 trebles here from Suljovic will make things very interesting. There's 1.
100.
Just about. In the ascendancy here.
Oh, it's a lovely looking first dart from Mike de Decker. He's a little bit unfortunate in that second one.
95.
They'd be very disappointed not to follow that first one. It was absolutely perfect for him and it would have made a real difference if he picked up another 40-odd points.
Oh, Suljovic, absolutely class.
139.
That'll do him. De Decker needs something big. Ton's not enough.
140.
Ton 40 might be though.
Mensur requires 62.
Yeah, pressure back on to some extent here for Suljovic. Oh, that's beautiful. Double 10 then for a 4-3 deficit. Has one more crack at it. And wouldn't you just know it, Mensur Suljovic, write him off at your peril.
Mensur to throw first.
Back on throw. effectively needs to find another break here, but that will give him so much encouragement and so much belief, and it potentially could do damage to De Dekker's confidence here.
100.
Well,
4-1 looks comfortable, 4-3 all of a sudden looks a little bit edgy.
it does, but De Decker still knows that if he holds his throw twice, he wins.
True.
In that respect,
96.
not much has changed. However, he's going to be having to do that under a lot more pressure, or he's going to have to find another break from somewhere. And you just get the feeling
85.
that
Just love Suljovic's demeanour at times.
I mean, he doesn't give anything away, De Decker, in his demeanour on stage.
60.
Oh, roll of the eyeballs there. You could see that.
But he's going to be feeling it. After thinking, missing those 2 darts for 5-1, suddenly he could find himself 4-all.
Well, I said it was going to be intriguing and potentially lengthy, and
64.
certainly on the evidence of the first 7 legs, that's exactly what it's proving to be.
Good adjustment from De Decker. I thought he'd switch, but he's fired in the next 2 darts into the treble bed.
There's a bit of emotion for you. First real show of emotion on the face of De Decker.
Kind of reminds me of that character in Breaking Bad.
100.
Sort of terrifyingly emotionless killer, whose name escapes me at the moment.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head. I know exactly what you mean.
152.
I'd Google him, but the internet connection's rubbish. Plus, I'm commentating on a darts match. Mensur Suljovic, 152 for 4 apiece. Not going to go. So De Decker, having already taken out 122, is going to have a look at 146.
Mike Uruguay, 146.
Puff of the cheeks. Little word of encouragement to himself. He's got 1 treble. He's got another, my word. My good Decker! Have some of that, Mensur Suljovic. You have battled and scrapped your way back into this. And once again, the young Belgian lad has smashed in a ton-plus finish to really, really hit you where it hurts.
My word, I've seen everything now from De Decker. I mean, that's a real show of character. He was potentially being clawed back there by Suljovic. He was in his sights, and then just to pull out that 146 check out with Suljovic in a very good position, needing 62. Treble 19, treble 19, double 16, 146 on the back of a 122 and an 84. Brilliant stuff.
97.
Well, if there's any way of exercising those demons of the 2 missed darts for 5-1, I would suggest that is it.
140.
And he's kicked off ton 40, ton 40. Mike De Decker is absolutely flying, and it's that visit there that has turned this game on its head. All right, we knew if he still held his throw in a couple of legs,
137.
he would be going through, but Mensur was on a bit of a charge and seemed to be reeling him in. Everything has changed.
57.
Just a 57, but it does get him to a finish.
Well, he looks a very, very exciting prospect, and in some respects, I hope to see more of him this weekend.
140.
I mean, if he carries on like this, he'll be a real threat for anyone.
Surely not. Oh, I thought he was going to finish it with an even bigger check out.
136.
But what a set-up shot that is. Now, Mensur Suljovic should be the victim of a couple of big checkouts. Can you produce one of your own to stay in this? No, you can't. So Mike De Decker,
99.
double 14. He missed this earlier on, but he has hit double 7 in this match. He's looking at 28 for a 6-3 win to knock out Mensur Suljovic. It's a decent marker for him. He's built a wall.
9 score.
And he's not gone anywhere near it. 3 match darts missed by Mike De Decker. He can take out 146, but double 14, a little bit more problematic. Mensur knows exactly where double 14 is. The man absolutely loves it. He'd build a house on double 14 if he could.
Game on.
Well, that's how you do it, Mike De Decker. And you just wonder what was going on between the ears of Mike De Decker there. You could smell the victory. 3 darts at double 14.
136.
First 2 were fairly close. The last one was miles away. And then Suljovic takes it out at the first time of asking. And we're back on throw once again here.
60.
It's a match really that warrants a deciding leg, I think. Dirk will be heartbroken if he misses out on this, I've got to say.
60.
I'm reluctant to say he deserves to win, because clearly if he loses 6-5, then he deserves to lose 6-5. He's lost for a reason. But
he has pulled out some phenomenal shots
he's
under
played
pressure,
some phenomenal
hasn't he?
darts.
I mean, the pair of 84s, the 1-2-2 and the 1-4-6 have been absolutely stunning. It's not quite been consistent enough in between those. This is a bit handy, though. Oh, there you go. How about that? The old 1-6-2 Mensur. I don't see many of them.
Why not?
95.
Real
As you require 143.
box of tricks at his disposal, Mensur Suljovic at times. He's so unpredictable as well. Now then.
Down for the 17s. It's not the end of the world. It's not in. It's not the end of the world that it hasn't gone in. We'll just set this
66
up.
remaining, yeah.
91.
52 remaining now for Suljovic. So time and opportunities to work with for Suljovic.
100.
And he's got effectively 6 darts here at 52 to level things up, to hold his throw and to take this brilliant first round match into a deciding leg. Double 16 for a 5-all scoreline.
36.
While it's on hold, you might say.
Well, even Mike Dirk can't take out 186 despite his finishing so far today.
85. Mensur
Knocks off 85 of them, but Mensur wants double 8 to take us all the way. Now double 4. And there it is. There it is. Mike Dirk and Mensur Suljovic are going all the way here. Dirk straight at the hockey. There's no touch of fists or anything like this. He's got his game face on.
This is why I'm such a Suljovic fan. I mean, I said it in the build-up, you know, even when he's 60. Dead and buried, he should have been 5-1 down.
Yep.
Okay, he was 4-1 down.
Survive.
And he's won 4 of the last 5 to level things up. I mean, you've got to admire the bloke, the way he can do that. And this isn't the first time it's happened. He's done it time and time again.
95.
And he just gets his nose in front in this leg, but is it by enough? It might not be. It might not be.
140.
Well, anybody's game, this. Really is. It could come down to who can hold their nerve and they get a guard a winning double. If you get that first poke at it, you're going to have to take it out.
Is that a 1?
It looks like it, yeah.
41.
Oh, and Mensur's stolen the darts. Now then, Mensur Suljovic.
What have you got? More of the same? Well, could do without that.
55.
Hasn't punished him as much as he would have liked.
A ton is good. A ton 40 is brilliant.
Oh.
A 1 helps him in no way at all.
78.
Well, it's a recovery of sorts, but he's still not on a finish. Big score from here for Suljovic, and that will just crank up the pressure even more on the youngster. Loves a 6-5, does Suljovic. Absolutely loves it.
140.
There you go. Hang on cue.
Pressure darts, and Mensur has delivered. Can Mike Dirk find something? He needs to find something, and he can't.
60.
He can't. He's left the 1-2-2. He took that out in the second leg phenomenally on double 7. Mensur may not give him a go. He's had to survive 3 match darts in the 9th leg. He missed 3 clear darts at double 14, Mike Dirk. Is Mensur Suljovic going to pull this one out the fire? He's only going to get 1 dart at double top for 6-5. And gets it! Mensur Suljovic has somehow pulled An incredible rabbit out of the hat. He had to survive 3 match starts. He had to survive 2 to go 5-1 down. But Suljovic, Mensur mania is kicking off in Dusseldorf. He's through to face Michael Smith, the number 4 seed. And if that is a sign of what we've got in store for the rest of the evening, who cares about Andy Murray? This is sport.
Was für ein umkämpftes Match. 0:3 Lager hinten, 4-5 Lager zurück. Am Ende setzt sich Mensur Suljovic durch, obwohl er 3 Matchstarts gegen sich hat. 6-5. Mensur, gratuliere dir. Das sind für mich immer die Partien, die am schwierigsten zu gewinnen sind, wo man vielleicht selber nicht sein Top-Niveau spielt, wo du plötzlich mit 0:3 hinten liegst, aber am Ende das Ding doch noch irgendwie gewinnst.
Ja, ich bin komplett unter Druck. Mein neuer Fan, was ich gestern kennengelernt habe, ist der Kevin. Der hat mir so viel Kraft gegeben, ich wollte wegen ihm nicht heute verlieren. Und deswegen habe ich nie aufgegeben. Aber mein Spiel war heute wirklich nicht so begeistert, aber ich habe nie aufgegeben, ich bin dran geblieben, an mich geglaubt und Gott sei Dank hat sie belohnt.
Und genau das spürt man, dass du, auch wenn du zurückliegst, an dich glaubst. Ist das so das Resultat aus all den guten Ergebnissen aus diesem Jahr 2015?
Ja, genau das. Früher habe ich geführt 5-1, habe immer verloren 6-5. Und jetzt glaube ich an mir. Ich gebe nie auf. Jede Chance nutze ich, wenn es geht, wenn nicht. Leider, das ist eine Tagesverfassung bei uns, alle Spieler.
Wir sehen dich morgen wieder und das ist gut so. Danke. Mensur Suljovic!
Of course, it's breath after that epic between Mensur Suljovic and Mike De Decker. We've got the next instalment of the European Darts Open for you here. Mike Langendorf, a man with limited experience of the European circuit, but a former soft tip world champion, up against Joe Cullen, who'll be looking to prove a point. He's not had a great time of it on the European circuit this season. Is capable of better, perhaps, you might say. And some might say this is a good opportunity for him to get a win under his belt as well on the European Tour. Rod Harrington in the chair for this one. Rod, first of all, a quick word about Suljovic. What a fight back that was, and typical of him as well.
Well, we sit here and commentate on Suljovic all the time, and how many times do we see him do that? You know, especially against the youngsters. The hardest double, obviously, to hit is the one that's going to win you the game. And 3 darts at double 14, and you knew Mensur coming back was not going to miss that double 14. And he just hangs in there. If there's youngsters watching, watch Mensur Suljovic. He never gives up. And that's what you've got to have, this bloody mindedness that I might nick a game. And Mensur seems to do it all the time.
Yeah.
But, you know, we have to say that he, I mean, he played absolutely brilliant apart from getting over the line. And we've seen some great from the youngsters. And Joey Cullen here was one of the youngsters coming through that we thought big things out of. But he's kind of levelled out for the last probably 4 years now and not really pushed on.
Yeah, De Decker could have made a big impression this weekend. He certainly caught the eye. He's turned a few heads with his performance there anyway. I think Michael Smith will have been wary of De Decker had he got through, but it's Suljovic instead for Smith, a player he knows a bit more about. So maybe the number 4 seed and the Riesa champion will be happier with the outcome. But, well, the Riesa champion will have a tough match tomorrow, no mistake about that. Anyway, let's focus on this one now. Langendorf, one of the qualifiers last night. He was one of the host nation qualifiers. So he represents Germany in effect, but he is Austrian, if you know what I mean. That's the way we'll sum that up. Joe Cullen also coming through the qualifiers, the UK qualifiers in Crawley in May.
100.
Langendorf getting us underway here. Like I say, Cullen hasn't had a great time of it
100.
in Europe this year. He lost 6-5 to Andy Bolton in the first round of the German Darts Championship. Then had a first round defeat in Venray, losing 6-3 to Jeffrey de Zwaan. Did reach the last 16 here 12 months ago, but went down 6-3 to Gary Anderson.
100. Mike, you require 139.
But as Rod said, a player who's perhaps treaded water a lot lately.
Yes, as I said, you know, probably 3-4 years ago, really thought Joey Cullen was going to make leaps and bounds, but he's kind of like stood still for a little while.
83.
And when that happens, you know, you've got to change things. If you don't, nothing's going to work for you. But he's going to set this up pretty well. So Langendorf's going to get 2 darts at double top, or will it be double 18?
36.
So Langendorf in a good position to hold his throw and win the opening leg. He's got 2 darts at double top to do so. Just one now, and well, maybe he's missed his opportunity. Joey Cullen can't afford to look this gift horse in the mouth. Double 16 then for a 1-0 lead. And he too is missing his double here as well.
You know, as we spoke about Joey, you know, he stood still for a little while. I mean, I know we're only in the first leg, but it's control. You break the throw of your opponent, and you're the one that's on the front foot. And now he's not. And now he may be thinking, you know, I should have nicked that leg. And this is where the willpower becomes a test.
Langendorf now 43 years old. Like I said in the intro at the outset, he's a former soft tip world champion. Does that carry any weight, really, the fact that he's been effective?
Yes. I mean, you know, they're throwing exactly the same darts. The only difference is that these have got a steel tip, the others have got a plastic tip. You know, the action is exactly the same.
Same distances,
exactly the same distance. Some of the boards have bigger trebles and doubles, but then it's the same for everyone. So, yeah, if you can throw brilliant soft tip, then you can be a good steel tip player as well.
83.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. Well, Langendorf has work to do here if he wants to steal the Cullen throw. Mind you, the way that Cullen's been playing of late and the doubles he missed in the first leg might give Langendorf encouragement, but not to be. 1-4-4 check out for Joe Cullen to level things up. Good stuff.
It's incredible how many times you see that happen on the combination. People hit the double, you give them 2 or 3 darts in the hand and they miss it.
Yeah.
It's uncanny.
60.
Sometimes it's almost like they need that momentum just to carry them through.
That's exactly what it is.
And without it,
sometimes, you know, you get players with 3 darts in the hand, they go, oh, I'll put the first one. You know, if it doesn't go in, it's just a good guide.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they miss with the first one. They think, oh, I better get it with the second one, so I don't have to leave it to the third. And all of a sudden, instead of the positive, then becomes a negative.
Yeah, panic sets in. Oh, Joey Cullen, he's building momentum now.
100.
And he needs to follow that up with at least a ton.
Heading to the 19s, or 17s, I should say, instead.
That'll help. It's a lot easier to get home from 170 and 6, and it certainly is from 201. And so what Joey wants is Langendorf not to hit a treble.
60.
Exactly. He's probably got 6 darts from here.
Well, Cullen has set that up very nicely indeed. Not an impossible task for Langendorf here, but it is now. I think that's hit the treble 3.
53.
Well, we'll see if this theory of ours or mine works here. He's got 3 darts. Oh, he's hit it first dart. Another good leg from Joey Cullen, and that is a breaker throw. So now this is where you hold on to your throw strongly and you get control of the game.
60.
Well, the winner of this, by the way, will face Simon Whitlock, a man who's gone close here in the last couple of years, beaten finalist on 2 occasions. Whitlock, by the way, beat Langendorf in Hildesheim earlier this year, 6-1 in the second round. Whitlock losing last year's final to Peter Wright 6-2. Also lost the 2013 final 6-2 against Van Gerwen as well. Whitlock could be due a big weekend. He obviously likes playing here.
And he needs a good run as well.
And he needs it.
Yeah, and especially coming into the match play next week. You know, everybody's looking at their form. You know, to see they want to put a good run together here to go into that with plenty of confidence. It's a major, major tournament. And of course, Whitlock has got Yelly Klassen, which is not going to be an easy game for either player.
What about this then from Joey Cullen? Another big, big score there. Now firm favourite to win leg 4. Hold his throat.
60. Joe, you require 108.
Well, he's possibly going to get 6 darts from here. He's going down for the 4 19s to leave a double 16.
76. Make you require
He would think he's going to come back to the hockey for the 32, but Langendorf might have something to say about that.
It was always a tall order for Langendorf, but well,
30. Joe, you require 32.
It's a big score, but Cullen here, 3 darts at double 16, first one. There you go.
Joey Cullen, 5th leg, make to throw first. Game
well,
on.
up until now, Joey Cullen's not made too many mistakes. The 2 darts to nick the throw in that first leg, but since then has played some solid darts.
He has indeed. A 180 in there, an average of over 100 as well. Has he nailed it? Yes, he has. Even Russ Bray seemed a little bit surprised by that. Well, he just had to have a second glance just to be absolutely sure.
Well, there we have the averages.
60.
Not very often that you have the overall average higher than your front 9, but
100.
Joe is hitting the big scores and setting the shots up. And that's where and why he's 3-1 up.
You may have heard the cry of Deutschland, Deutschland go up there as well. The crowd here in no doubt as to the nationality of Langendorf, even though it says Austria on the board. Cullen here though with another maximum. There you go. Putting the pressure on once again. Langendorf on 170 on a finish, the biggest of the lots. This would be something special, and it won't happen.
130.
He's taken out a 144. He will not take out the 141. But he's set it up absolutely perfect. A bit of pressure on here for Langendorf. So, leaves the double top. Just take with his time. He needs to hold on to his throw.
Well, I've one feared for him after he missed that double 20, but he's recovered well there, and he's just about hanging on. He's still a breakdown, 3-2.
140.
He looks pretty focused today, I have to say, to young Joe. You know, sometimes when a player, your opponent gets the double with last dart, you sometimes think, oh, why couldn't he have missed? But, you know, he steps straight up very quickly and slams in a 140.
He looks like a player who knows he's been given a big helping hand by the draw here. The fact that he's got a very winnable match. Any other sort of draw, if he'd been up against Yellow Klassen, for example, he could have come out here and thought, well, I'm up against it already. But this is a very, very winnable match against one of the host nation qualifiers.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Rob. I mean, a lot of people say, you should never think like that. You do think like that. You know, that's why we have the world #1 and we have the world number 101, because of the consistency of the player. And you do look, and when you get a good draw, you have to take advantage of it.
100.
Well, that's another impressive visit from Joey Cullen.
Well, that is why his overall average is better than his front 9, because he's done that on several occasions, set it up absolutely perfect. He hit the double 18 first dart earlier on. This is for a 4-2 lead.
Yeah, he's growing into legs, isn't he? He's a long way off there, though. That's closer. Good score. So Langendorf with an outside chance here. Well, not an outside chance, a good chance of a break.
Now, some of the soft tip players, and especially the Dutch, go for a 25 here, which That I can never understand. It looks like he's going for the treble 20. Well,
he's gone for the ball.
All right, he's going bullseye 19, double 16.
Looks good when it comes off, but like you say, it's an unorthodox route. Cullen, surely not another missed double. That's 6 now. Missed doubles for a 4-2 lead.
What a crucial time of the game as well. You know, it was to hold on to his throw, so Langendorf's going to come back. 3 clear darts at double 8 to get his throw back and then have the advantage. And 1 minute, all of a sudden, Joey's flying, and now the pressure's on him.
Oh, he's actually hit the 11 there as well, so he's chasing around the board, but matters not. He's found the double 2. And Joey Cullen, 6 missed doubles there. It's back on throw. It's 3 apiece. And Langendorf is throwing first as well. How quickly things can change. Cullen looked to be in a very, very comfortable position 5-6 minutes ago. And now all of a sudden, that lead has been wiped out.
Yes, he wasn't doing anything wrong. Scoring was going well, setting the shot up well, taking the doubles out. And perfect to go 4-2 up. All of a sudden, 6 missed starts to the double. And now the positive becomes a negative. And of course, with Langendorf, he's on the opposite.
The tide has turned. The worm has turned. Say what you like. It's a very, very different game all of a sudden.
Yeah, Joey's got to dig deep now. Right, there's the chance that he needs.
Dan made the point earlier, though, it's perhaps benefits the tournament if one of the home players can get through. Schurter is out, Zähler's out. Langendorf here with a chance to keep the German flag flying into the weekend.
Yes, I suppose for the business of the game, then, which is where the prize money comes from, then yes. But I think nowadays they watch so much of our big tournaments that as long as a few of the big boys are in the tournament, I think that's what the crowd want to see.
Yeah, Jihan Artuk, by the way, and Michael Rosenau are the 2 Germans on stage later on.
Well, he should go 25 or bullseye this time, which he has done. He's missed it. I think that's in the 9, so that's 84. Needs the treble 20, so he's not going to do it. Now, 89. To redeem himself, Joey Cullen is going to get 2 darts at double 16.
Yeah, he needed that. You can see what it means.
Joe Cullen. 8th leg, Joe to throw first.
Stop the rot to some extent. Has the break. Sees the initiative once again, and he's now 2 legs away from a place in the second round and a meeting with Simon Whitlock tomorrow.
60.
Whitlock, by the way, is seeded 6th for this event. So he's expected to get to the quarter-finals.
100.
A better crowd in here this evening.
Oh, it's brilliant atmosphere. I was outside for the first match of the evening session between Norris and Smith, and it was a cracking atmosphere. Virtually a full house outside in the arena.
57.
This is a shame, but we're starting to outgrow this one. It's in the perfect location. We're just outside of Dusseldorf Airport. You literally walk out the front door and you're in the front door of the hotel.
Trouble is, we can't expand the arena. We'll be onto the runway, Rod.
We will be.
Never mind an extra runway at Heathrow. We'd lose a runway here at Dusseldorf if we expanded this. But Cullen's expanding his repertoire here with another maximum. And he's looking good for a 5-3 lead.
97.
And from that, you would suspect there'd be no way back for Langendorf. 50 required. Has he hit the 18? Yes, he has. Double 16.
72. Make you require 145.
Well, you'd think that Joey Cullen's going to come back for this 32.
I would bet that he does.
He would have won that bet straight away. Well, this is where you get over the line. And he's done exactly that. I mean, that was so important to take that double out. Now, it's for Joey Cullen to lose this game. Langendorf has got to win all 3 of the last legs. 2 of those he will throw first, so it's not all over yet. He's only got to break Joey once.
134.
But the prospects of breaking remoter now after that 1-3-4. Cullen's good friend Devon Peterson, by the way, is in action later tonight as well. He plays Nathan Aspinall. That'll be a good game. Aspinall's had a good showing of late. In Europe especially. Looks to be a player on an upward curve as well. Another good prospects. Devon's one of those players you sometimes never know what you're going to get, really. Could be brilliant or could be woeful.
Well, we can guarantee on one thing. He will be dancing.
And he'll love this crowd. It's a Devon Peterson crowd, no doubt about it.
Well, Joey's going to get 6 starts from 1-3-6 to wrap this game up. It's been a tidy game from Joey Cullen. Don't miss the 20. Oh, that's a good dart.
Well, he's missed the double 18 before this evening, but this is a very, very different story. There's a victory within his grasp. Langendorf still has lots of work to do. Is he down to a finish? Just. Well, he's under 170 anyway, but Cullen here should finish things off. Getting closer. And once again, the double 18 is his undoing.
I was going to say, it was this route that cost him that leg before.
Wouldn't it just be typical now if Langendorf picked this off? 155.